Spoilers of the Damned.
Hello and welcome to Spoilers of the Damned, episode number 44. My goodness, episode number 44. Talking about Cabin in the Woods. But first of all, we're going to, as usually, preamble and talk about things off topic and otherwise. How have you guys been? Because it's been a long time, actually, since we last broadcast.
How many years has it been?
Months, not years.
Months? Like 19
years.
months are we talking, or what? Where it's at least been 1 year?
I understand we're on COVID time at this point still, so yeah, months.
Yeah, because
Feel
at
like-
least 12 months, because I know we didn't do a podcast during COVID, so there's that. And then however many months before then tacked on, it's been a very long time.
The last one was
But
Twin Lighthouse. I can't remember how many months ago that was, but it was in 2020.
It was.
it was?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess it was, because didn't that movie come out in 2020? Did it? Did anything happen in 2020?
I think technically the end of 2019, but it was a very close thing actually. And I didn't see it in the
Yeah.
cinema. Like we get films sometimes maybe 3 or 4 months after you guys, and it was-
Yeah.
I think round about March time was when it was supposed to be coming out in the cinema over here.
Okay. Yeah.
And then COVID happened, so.
Right. Well, I
Dark
mean,
Knight.
things.
Everything.
Yeah, stream it all in the house. Nobody goes outside. Everything just comes right into the house, piped straight into our faces, and we wait.
We wait for the inevitability.
We wait for hopefully someone to save us. But in the meantime, we have an excellent waiting room. We have facilities. We have a kitchen. We have streaming entertainment,
If Deliveroo.
delivery. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, for those who wish to risk their lives to bring us pizza, we salute you.
Oh, there
So-
you go.
But yeah,
Glass of
besides that, I've been doing rather well. We've all basically been growing as streamers, and I mean that like experience level, if not like actually people watching us or whatever. But so that's been really nice. Besides that, it's just been I've had a lot of free time, so I've been playing a lot of Persona 5 with all of my free time, and that game is so long that it's taken all of my free time.
Yeah.
That's been really nice. All in preparation for Persona Strikers, which I'm sure will also take another like several months of my life.
Most likely. Most likely.
We were talking just before the cast, sorry, and you were discussing Persona and its quirks, shall we say.
It's great.
Well,
I love
yeah.
Persona 5.
I mean, yeah, like overall, game is amazing. It's just got those like weird, like that's a little wrong in our culture, at least, that kind of things.
So,
The one thing that I really don't like, the one thing I wish they would change, and this is a very small thing, is that you can't do anything in the arcade. What the hell? Give me a mini game. Give me a mini game. Give me something. Make me want to spend time in the arcade.
You've been spoiled by Yakuza, basically.
yes. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, because it absolutely does spoil people in that regard. It's like, hey, do you want to play Virtua Fighter 6, whatever it is now? There you go, the whole game's there.
Are you serious?
Well, the arcade version, anyway. Yeah.
Which Yakuza is this? 'Cause I like Virtua Fighter.
6, maybe? There's like, the arcades and all of them have actual Sega games. It's like
Interesting.
Virtual on, one of them has Space Harrier, I think.
Yeah, I mean, those are expected, but like an actual like modern Virtua Fighter,
Yeah, like the
I want-
arcade
I
version.
want it.
Yeah.
Can you play it online? Does it have online play?
No, it doesn't have online.
Everyone
yeah.
buy Yakuza 6 so we can play Virtua Fighter 6 together. I want it.
Yeah, it's great. Seriously, it's great. It's like, I'm pretty sure it's just it's the arcade version. It's not like the home port, but still, it's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, for a single player experience, it's perfectly fine. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I
get
haven't
your ass
played
kicked.
one since the PS2. I think it was Virtua Fighter 4, or I think. I don't know. All I remember is that it had a really fantastic user interface, or like home screen. Like you'd go up and down the like single player online, whatever, and like water would ripple every time you made a choice, and it just looked
Awesome.
really cool. And that was why I bought it. Okay, I'm done playing.
So I was just looking because I have Virtua Fighter on Dreamcast, but I can't. Oh, there it is. It's got a really fat 3. Yes, it probably was 4. Yeah.
Yeah, Dreamcast to PS2. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Virtua Fighter 3 dash something B because it's like Street Fighter. Street Fighter EX
Yeah.
plus Alpha.
Plus A. Don't forget the plus A.
Yeah, no, really, that's I'm not even joking. That's an actual Street Fighter game that was on PS1. It was Street Fighter EX plus alpha.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to add anything else to it?
Tournament edition.
Super Turbo Tournament edition.
Turbo.
Now featuring Dante from Devil May Cry and Knuckles.
Just Knuckles. But he's not even. He fights. He's got Knuckles. He's an echidna. Weird. Why isn't a echidna punch things?
Why not?
I mean, is it because that's like the opposite? Because obviously hedgehogs are notoriously slow. So you've got Sonic the Hedgehog, he's fast. So maybe echidnas are just really bad at fighting. Maybe they're like the dorks of the animal kingdom that get pushed around by the bullies. You know, like the echidnas, like the turtles and other whatever, you know, like porcupines and stuff like that. You know, that's what it is.
I think hedgehogs are actually fast.
Yeah, I've seen one go in our garden. They go surprisingly fast, and they make a lot of noise for something so small. Like they proper grunt like pigs.
Yeah,
There's a reason they're called hedgehogs.
It's because they've got to go fast.
They
right.
Go fast.
Gotta go fast.
We get quite a few in our garden actually, and basically anything like living that kind of like looks vaguely cute in our house just gets fed. So we got like tins of you go to the cupboard, you find like they like tuna a lot. Actually, it's very good for them. Like there are some things you can feed them that's not so good for them.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what, but I know tuna's a safe one. So yeah, you break out.
That's interesting. Because like a hedgehog isn't really like a marine animal, right? Like unless I'm not sure about that.
Thinking about them, right? It's like that hedgehog is one of like maybe millions of hedgehogs in this country that's actually eaten a fish. That did occur to me, you know, like our shower thoughts. I was sat there afterwards and I was like, that hedgehog doesn't know how fucking lucky he is.
Living the good life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speedy boys.
It's gonna go fast.
Yeah. Beyond that, I've been playing a lot of Borderlands 3. Me and the wife, we play every morning, like every morning possible, which is just about every morning. And we got to the point now where we're just going to do 100% of the game. Every quest, every red chest, every location, just everything. Because it's like, why put a barrier on this? We're going to be stuck at home with COVID for probably another year. Yeah. So we've got time. So here we go.
It's fair.
And we're about we're almost done with Pandora, and there's like 7 planets. So we're almost done with one of the planets. We still got a ways to go. So,
it's been ages since I think I played some Borderlands 3 last year, but I played it like one evening. I don't know. I just didn't really get into the third one that much. Quite sure why.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's really a reason.
I have good memories of playing was it the first one, Chris, that we did co-op, or we did co-op once on it with me, my brother, Akina, all on stream.
No.
Oh, we did that. That's the only time I played Borderlands. That's why I have it on Steam.
No.
We played
Dead
Island.
Yeah, same time, roughly.
Dead Island.
I don't think I wasn't part of this.
You were
of the Borderlands.
Look, okay, it was cold and snowy, and dark like blue, the level, and you were leading us around it.
I was there in spirit.
Would that be the pre-sequel?
No, Borderlands 2 starts off in a snowy area.
Oh yeah.
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 All right.
Yeah. I was there in spirit. I understand. It's okay.
Like it. I don't know. Like the whole idea of loot annoys me, and I'm a gamer, which is like, you know, everyone's like loot, and I'm like, I'd rather just have a pipe, just one pipe, maybe a gun, maybe 2 guns.
Just want a bonk. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2 guns. The thing about Borderlands, and I'm gonna say this because it's really important to me, that it's a looter shooter, but other looter shooters don't do it right. Like Destiny, for example, is another looter shooter. But the way that doesn't work is that you can only get the best guns at the end of the game in hard, like, team-based environments like raids and stuff.
Yeah.
Borderlands, you can get any gun to your level at any point in the game. So you can always find something good, even and basically play the end game, which is farming for loot, at any level of the game. So you never have to get to the end game. You can just play it to the end of the game and then just stop because you've experienced the end game as you were playing the game, which I find to be very like a lot more important because you actually get to experience the whole thing instead of like I can't get the Gjallarhorn in Destiny until I do this one raid for like however many days it takes for it to randomly drop into my possession because you can't even like trade guns in that game. Like I have a gun in my hand, I can't put it in your hands. It's mine or I break it. It's one or the other. And that's how most games get that kind of thing wrong. Borderlands does it right. That's why I just wanted to say that.
No, that makes perfect sense because I don't like loot as a concept. So even if it's like doing loot the best way, it wouldn't interest me. But I can appreciate that it does loot the best way.
Yeah, it does it the best way. I mean, a lot of the times it's like you get like a Jacobs pistol. Jacobs is a manufacturer brand, and you enjoy that pistol, and then like another one will drop as you level up. Just replace that pistol with the other pistol, and you still have your experience. It's just that it levels up. That's the only thing. And that's the only thing I would say Borderlands 2 and pre-sequel and Borderlands 1 are bad at, is it's insanely hard to get to maximum level because it takes a lot of time to grind experience to get to max level. Whereas Borderlands 3 doesn't have that issue. Thankfully, they fixed that. So, like, with my wife and I, we just play. We're both max level. It's easy to get to. We can do it, like, in 2 days. And then we can just play on Mayhem 10 difficulty and just have fun. It's great. Good time.
So. Yeah, I do admit, I agree with the, in terms of weapons on, like, Borderlands. Because, yeah, Destiny, it seems like... I tried Destiny 1 way back in the day. Didn't like it. Thought I'd give the second one a go, and it was really cheap. But the problem with that is, like you were saying, to get the really good stuff, you need to basically do like end game stuff. But the problem is then you do that, and then the only place you can really use it is PvP, and I fucking hate the PvP in Destiny because there's a more modicum of skill involved, but really it boils down to who has the better stuff.
Yeah, it boils down to better stuff.
Yeah.
And it boils down to strats. The strats being like, if you know the average height of the other players, which they're all the same because you can't adjust height, then you can just put your reticle at that particular position on a wall. So when somebody walks by that wall, and as soon as you see it, pull the trigger. You got them. They're dead. They didn't have a chance to see you. You just know that there's going to be somebody coming from there or over there, and you just sweep left and right. Got them.
Yeah.
Got them. I'm good at this game.
Yeah, and it's just... I think it's one of the problems I had with Cyberpunk as well. It's the whole this thing. It's like numbers like in the looter shoot like Borderlands. It's fun because it's cartoony and it's wacky and it's silly.
Yeah.
But when it's like something like Cyberpunk that takes itself so fucking seriously, it's like, wow, this gun's better. Why is this gun better? Why is this gun? This gun does more things. Why does it do more damage? Oh, but it's because it's a higher level, and it's. And shooters just turn into like how many numbers you're doing. If I shoot someone point blank in the face with a shotgun, even if you got like the best cyberware imaginable, you're gonna react to it, right? You're gonna fall backwards, you're gonna stumble, which is what the Division does. Surprising, Division 2 does really well. Is that obviously there are bullet sponge enemies because it's a looter shooter as well. But if you shoot someone in the head, it might not necessarily kill them because they're like a high level, but they will stagger, they'll flinch, they'll react. So there's like that visual feedback. And
that's really important.
Yeah, I just hate when you just like suddenly go zzz. Zzz. Oh, it's dead. Cool. Next one.
I will admit that Borderlands does that poorly. Like at the end, you end up everything's a bullet sponge. They're all crazy. They're all screaming. They're all running after you and spinning in circles or whatever. Yes. But you can also develop to do one-shot kills with the right kind of builds, and not even really with the right kind of guns, but with like a majority of the guns you can do it if you build correctly. So it's it's okay.
Yeah, that one's okay. Like I don't again because I think it gets away with it because it's not grounded in any kind of like reality. It's such a ludicrous, over the top, stupid world.
Oh yeah,
it's a Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, what it everything about the presentation is great. I love it. It's just it's like it's not even the systems that are bad. It's just I'm just not into like if I had friends to play it with, I would play it. But but like I'm just generally antisocial when it comes to games, especially story games or first-person games. I feel like very kind of like I just want to do my thing. Yeah, I see you. I see you. We'll have to arrange that at some point. I mean, look, if anyone can convince me, it will be you about Borderlands for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, sure.
He's right, you know.
Oh, okay. My volume's a little low. I'm just gonna tweak that.
Oh, that's interesting. You sound perfectly fine to me.
On the stream, so.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is Discord call.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Hello, everyone in the stream.
Bear with us, by the way. This is the first time that we're streaming on my new computer, and it's a beast, and I love it, and it's great. But like, we've not tested this at all, and so we're probably gonna have to tweak a little bit along the way. So.
Everyone in the chat gets a Danhausen. There we go.
It's true. It's also the first time we've had an audience. It's very exciting, actually.
It's
and
very
you'll be immortalized because this VOD will go up on YouTube forevermore. So.
Mm-hmm. We have your souls.
Think about it as advertising space. If you want to turn up here and just spam the chat with adverts, I guess that's okay.
No, don't do that.
For a price.
Get the bots. Bots everywhere. Although I haven't had bots for a while, it's nice. Although the bots have stopped trying to use like all the accents in the text now. It's like, do you want the big follows? Just click on. Nope, go away. They're not even trying anymore.
Instant ban. Yeah,
even the bots, the AI is depressed.
It's such a twist too, because it's like, oh, I got a chat. Oh,
yeah,
to ban whatever.
Wish they were like a physical person so I could slap them.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Good.
So, what have you been up to, Matt? I've hoarded too much time already.
Yes. I've been very busy. I've been doing lots of streaming. I've been trying to do stuff on YouTube as well. I have... How many things do I have on the in the pipeline at the moment for YouTube? I've got... Let's see. Every single Metal Gear Solid game. Cool. So I've got the scripts written for Metal Gear 1 and Metal Gear 2. And I didn't finish writing Metal Gear 2 because then I ended up writing blurbs for the end of 5, 4, and 1 about why I love the series so much and why I love the characters so much. And then I went to go and finish Metal Gear 2. So I'm like piecing this all together. And then because I'm an idiot and I apparently hate myself, I decided, it'd be a great idea. I should like play every single game set in the Alien universe. That'd be great. And realised there's hundreds.
And there's some real stinkers in there too.
Yeah. So I'm breaking it into chunks. So it's like every game based on Alien. So I got away with including some of the DLC for Alien Isolation because it's set during Alien. He plays the characters from Alien. And then I'm going to do every game set in based on Aliens, Alien 3, skip Alien Resurrection because I've already done a video on that. And then basically do most of the AVP games, not maybe all of them, but most of the AVP games that are decent. Colonial Marines, unfortunately, as much as it hurts. And then like all the other spin-offs as well, which means I'm going to have to try and find a way to play Alien Blackout, that piece of shit Five Nights at Freddy's knockoff that was a sequel to Isolation, which is so depressing because Isolation was great. And then although there is a game I did find out about called Aliens the Graphic Novel, which is like a point-and-click adventure game almost that I'd never heard of before. And it looks great. So, and then I have like other videos as well. So it's like I've got loads going on at the moment.
Yeah, too much.
In terms of that.
I was going to ask you, which one does Alien Trilogy fall under for you?
I've already reviewed that, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
I've already done a video on that.
So but I didn't know you'd done Trilogy.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about that because Alien Trilogy makes no sense. It's called Alien Trilogy, and it's basically Aliens, but it like gets around it by having locations from Alien 3 and the ship, the derelict spacecraft, from obviously the first and second film. Oh, and Ripley's bald because Alien 3. So it's like, no, see, it's totally the trilogy because it's got all these locations. If that makes no sense.
I have a really soft spot for that game because
it's good.
Yeah, it was one of the first PlayStation 1 games we got. So
it was the second one I ever played. The first one I played was Tekken, and I beat an older kid as Kazuya by just constantly pushing the circle button to do that spin kick, and he got really angry.
Oh,
He just kept jumping into me.
The 3 spinning.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
the thing is, if you have a winning strategy,
Circle. I used to do that all the time.
Yeah. See, it's great.
if you have a winning strategy, it's not on you to change.
Yeah.
It's on them to adapt. It's not your
Exactly.
fault at all. Take the W, let them have the L. That's how it is.
And
That's
I was
how fighting
like-
games are.
How old was I? Because that was like, what, PS4? PS1 was 94, 95? I think. So I was quite young.
Yeah, we got ours fairly late because we were N64 kids.
Yeah. So he was a good 2-3 years older than me. And I remember just him getting really angry. And the other kids his age were just laughing because he was getting so angry. Like, look, wait, you keep jumping into him. What do you expect him to do? I'm like, oh, he's jump kick. Oh, this is working. So I just kept hitting the circle button. But yeah, Anthology was the second game I played.
Oh,
It's good.
Discord did its thing where it dropped Chris again.
I was wondering when this was going to happen.
Yeah, like clockwork. This always used to happen. And
Why
now
does it do this?
We're in different boxes.
I think it'll go right back to normal.
My name's changed.
As soon as I turn on my camera.
Yes, it does. Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah, that's what always happens. I don't know why that happens. It's like every 40 minutes, my laptop is like, no. And I'm like, yes. And it's like, fine.
Some weird time displacement. Oh, doesn't feel good.
This is why we record live, so I don't have to like trawl through 3 hours and find shit like that and fix it. Fuck it.
Right.
Fuck it.
This is about it. It builds character.
Yeah. I'll find some way to fix this, or at least maybe get a webcam that I can use with my PC instead. But I really like the laptop setup, so I can just move this somewhere in the house where it's quieter and whatever. So
it's good webcam as well. The quality is good. It's just some just keeps dropping out.
Yeah. You hear that webcam? It's talking about you.
So sort your shit out.
All right, Garlips, what have you been up to?
Oh, well, I have been playing mostly Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Quite good.
I avoided it at the time. I'm not sure why I did. I think everyone was so hype that I just felt kind of turned off by the hype. I'm that kind of person. I hear everyone going, "Oh, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant," and I'm like,
Yeah, you're like, oh. But what if I don't like it? That's the problem I have.
And then I got spoiled on it a little bit. I mean, the main conceit I know, and spoilers for Final Fantasy VII Remake as well, is that that the characters are essentially kind of trying to fight against fate, like against the people that want things to happen how they did before. And that kind of made me think, oh, that's interesting. They're doing something different with it. Completely forgot about playing it. Played loads of other stuff. And then obviously PS Plus it got announced that it was going to be coming, so I thought, oh, okay, all right, I'll download it for free, I guess.
Okay.
And, technically not free, but yeah, I've been enjoying the hell out of it. It's really charming. It's won me over completely.
Yep.
The characterization of characters that we already kind of knew but didn't really spend a lot of time with is great. Plus, they've added in crazy new people who I guess we're going to find out more about as the game carries on as well. Like Rush as well is...
Yep, I thought that's who you meant.
Yeah.
Really likes them bikes.
Bikey boy.
Really likes his bike.
Yeah, I wonder if because at the moment where I am, they just dropped the Sector 7 plates, so I've not actually finished the game yet. So I don't know if we're going to see Rush again before the end or not, but I always got the feeling that he's introduced now and he might pop up periodically, sequentially.
I think he might. I'm not sure. I think he might.
What I do like about him, just real quick, is that his sword is the exact same soldier standard issue sword that Zack Fair has in the Crisis Core game on the PSP.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's really cool. They didn't just like give him an iconic sword. They made him look like another soldier first class character.
He is a member of Soldier. It's like, yep, totally believe it. He's just completely out of his mind, like every other soldier.
Yeah.
It's a weird bunch.
No, I think a great experience. Great. I almost feel like that game didn't really happen, and I just had a wonderful hallucination for like a week.
I really like Crisis Core. Crisis Core is great. Like, not many people talk about it anymore, but I think it's great.
Oh yeah, I like Crisis Core too. Yeah.
Really good remake.
That was fun.
Really good. I really like Crisis Core. I mean, even the weird slot machine mechanic, it worked. It worked. This game is
and I like the new mechanics in this one as well. Like, I like the way the combat goes. I didn't think I would, but now I'm used to it. It's fine.
Yeah.
The
So
one thing that
fine.
sucks is that you can be literally praying for your ATB part to fill, and then you execute an attack and something hits you and nullifies it.
Yep.
That happens too much.
Have you do you know what professional mode's like the hard no professional hard mode?
No, that's going to be my well, it's not my next stream, but it's going to be something I'm going to stream.
Have you? I haven't finished hard mode yet. I was like sporadically streaming. I actually want to finish hard mode, so I might stream it again at some point. Do you want to know one of the major things about hard mode?
If it's about the benches, I know that there are no benches.
Oh, there's benches, but they don't replenish MP.
Yeah. Oh, MP. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want to know the major thing?
Okay.
You can't use any items.
What?
No items.
In battle.
So get used
or
to it
just-
now.
In general.
So get
What?
used to it now. Sell all your items.
Yep.
Like, number one, you're playing on normal already, so you better be able to pull this off. Sell all your items,
How
and
do
then
you
use
get-
that money for equipment right now,
how
and
do
then
you
just get to the
MP?
game.
There's varying ways you can get it back. It's like it's all in because basically you can do hard mode as New Game Plus, so you keep all your materia and stuff. And also enemies give so much AP in hard mode that you end up maxing out your materia very quickly. So basically, what it relies on is then you have to build the characters in a very, very good way. Basically, Chakra becomes one of your best friends because Chakra, at its max level, I think heals 40% of your HP and removes poison. So Chakra, because like everyone has Chakra, and
Yeah.
then like Aerith has Prey, which is great. And yes, it's all about using like specific material. So you want to have like Cloud having the defense material, and yeah, people like depending on like the weapon as well. Like you can some of the skills when you level up is you can get like MP back for doing certain things. So it does go up, but in certain boss fights, oh, it's scary because when someone goes down, I did the Scorpion boss fight and Barrett got obliterated. I was like, great, it's just me with my chakra. I've got the healing magic because I gave it to him.
That is so
And yeah.
upsetting because well, first off, yeah, I rely on items way too much.
Yeah,
Even when I've got the
doable.
spells, because I'm saving the MP for offensive spells, so I don't want to use revive. I'd rather just throw a Phoenix down or whatever.
Yep. But at the same time, it's brutal, but it's because of the gameplay style and the mechanics around it. It still feels fair. And the boss fights, because I was worried that was because one of my friends that I was talking to, and he's done it. And I was talking to him about it when he first started. He went, this isn't as he said this is still really hard, but it's not as like irritating as I thought it'd be. Because obviously I thought it'd just be like beyond annoying because I thought I shouldn't be dying constantly, but no, it's still relatively balanced and it's still a fair challenge at the same time. Because it allows you, because obviously New Game Plus, it allows you to build these characters like perfectly.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it's great. Definitely do hard mode when you finish because it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
whole.
I want the
it's a whole
final,
new bag.
so
Very good. I still need to finish it on hard mode. I can't remember where I got up to. I think I got like halfway through. About halfway through, I think. Yeah, died a couple of
I don't know
times.
exactly where that is at the moment because I haven't beaten the game.
Yeah. I know I beat Reno.
I was going to say, have you got to Eris?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got her. Yeah, because we did the second reactor. I got fine. It's fine. I'll know when I load it up next. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do with Last of Us 2 later this week. Is I can't exactly remember precisely where I am in grounded mode, but
Yeah.
I will load it up and know instantly because yeah,
Just,
I'll be there a while.
You just hear the dogs.
Yeah. Oh boy. One. I think I did the big area with the dogs. You know where it's all grassy and you get the bow and arrow.
Oh, and the enemies respawn because that's
Yeah,
not
I'm
cheap.
pretty sure I did that one because that's where I learned that grounded mode on The Last of Us 2 is just a pale comparison to the first game's mode. The first game's
Really?
mode is a fair challenge. It's good.
Yeah.
And if you look around for stuff, you feel rewarded. You feel like you've got stuff to use. Last of Us
Scavenging.
2, I scavenged for ages and found nothing. So I learned very quickly that the best method is just to run for the checkpoint. Like,
Jeez,
you cannot
that's great.
really pick up anything that's going to be useful or more useful, because you will expend more killing everything than you will. In the first game, you can stealth kill nearly everything and use barely any supplies.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm just going to beat it so that I can say it's done. It's the only trophy I don't have, so...
And then fire to the
That's a
disc.
shame.
Do something useful with the game, like using it as a coaster.
It's not that bad.
Ceremonially at the end, like the end of Return of the Jedi, just...
Take the
It's a shame,
outro.
though.
I'm there in black, you know, that, yeah.
Because, like, I mean, you guys have seen me play Silent Hill 3 on hard mode, and it's like what Garlips was saying, where you know, you might as well just run past everything. Like, there's absolutely no reason to attack anything, because one, they're very aggressive. Two, they deal a lot of damage. Three, they take a lot of damage.
Normal.
Yeah, even on normal. So it's like you run around picking up bullets, and you run around picking up med kits, and you're using the med kits to progress in the game, so that you can like tank hits and just keep going. Because otherwise, it's like stop, ready, bonk. Yeah. But the bonk doesn't happen because you get hit right about here, and then or you fall on your bag.
Yeah, the worst one to me are the insane cancers. Like, I think it was using them all was good against them, but they just take so many hits. And with the pendulums, what are they called? Pendulums?
I think so. Yeah, pendulums. The little
things.
Yeah, I hate those things.
I never even bother fighting them. Whenever I played it anymore, it's like, run.
Like, I've never killed one. I've never once killed one ever, and I've gone through that game at least 3 times. I've never killed one. A streamer friend of mine, Kemiro, she was playing, and then she actually stopped to kill one, and when she did, I donated to her charity. I was like, good job, you killed one. I've never done that.
I've never seen this before.
I didn't know they could die.
See this day.
I thought I'd never see this day.
Are you, because I couldn't stop by for long the other day, but were you playing it on hard riddle difficulty as well?
No. I mean, there's no real point. I know it's amazing, and it is, but I would just have a guide up, so it wasn't really gonna do anything for me. I would just like, okay, what's the answer, and I just type it in, and I just keep going, and it wouldn't stop me.
It's like, because I tried to. There's one that I just looked up straight away, which is the William Shakespeare one, because it's like, hey, do you know your William Shakespeare?
No, I don't.
Kind of. It's like, well, get ready to reading this one document constantly until you figure it out. Hard riddle mode was. But then again, there's not really that many puzzles in the game. I think there's more in 1 and 2. I feel like there's more in 2 than there is in 3. The puzzles.
I think the puzzles in 3 spike in difficulty in certain spots, and of those there are few. But but the majority of puzzles are just pick up a key and open a door.
Yeah.
But the ones that are like, you need to figure out this poem to understand how to use that code on this door, those are the ones where it's like, there's like 4 of them, I think.
Yeah, the hard, like the expert or hardware was riddle mode on the code on the door in the hospital was... Took me, I was like writing it down for like 30 minutes. Like, so the people in the chat trying to figure out as well, like, maybe if we do... Is that what? No. And I was like this close to figuring it out.
Do you guys know the speedrunner Waifu?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He did a really good video on Silent Hill 2 based luck, and the puzzle you were talking about, Matt. Sort of like the story goes that there's lots of randomness in Silent Hill 2, and so you can kind of like, if you know you're on a bad run, you could leave it or you could carry on. But you don't know that until a certain way in. Someone was playing, they were streaming their speedrun attempt, and like someone posted the puzzle solution like 10 seconds before he got there, and he was like, the whole speedrunning world, like, I'm probably telling the story shitly, but like the whole speedrunning world were like, huh? How the hell did you know that? And Waifu's got a really good 15-20 minute video about like how this person was kind of like being cryptic, and like they were calling them the Silent Hill 2 like luck god or whatever, because it would drop into a stream. And was it fair if he was helping certain people get like a world record because he just happened to be in the chat and stuff? until they worked
Fucking
out
lit.
how it was being worked out, and like literally there are certain like frames that you can start the game on that kind of dictate the numbers for the game, that then all the random numbers are
Really?
I'm doing a really shit job of explaining it, but his videos.
Oh, I'm following you. I know what you're
Yeah,
talking
I'm following.
about.
That
So
sounds
keep going.
amazing.
Yeah, so and like, but just the way it happened is this person had worked it out all by themselves, and just like instead of here, guys, here's what happened, here's how I worked it out. Just like drop into people's streams and just be like, oh yeah, 6952, and people be like, how did you know that?
It's like my
Are
work.
you
is
an
done.
angel?
My
Yeah.
work is needed elsewhere.
I will find a video and put the link in the description, and
pretty
on our Discord
interesting.
as well. We have a bit in our Discord just for that, so we'll put that link
Right.
there as well.
That's really cool. It just like goes from stream to stream, helping Silent Hills 2 speedrunners.
Yeah, but the
The
thing
hero
is,
we all need.
there were plenty of people there as well who were just like, oh, he can show up anytime now, and he just doesn't.
You know who's watching.
Yeah. Well, it's like Batman, you know, like the one crime he stops prevents all the other ones from doing crime because they don't know if Batman's really out there or not, even if there's no way that Batman could be in all places at once.
Could be.
The threat.
Yeah, and you don't want him to punch you in the face because that's what he does.
Say hello to medical bills.
How many teeth you got left?
But yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to talk about actually, that is horror related that I've been into recently. It is
Yes.
an AMC television show called Terror. Are you guys aware of this show?
No.
Terra or terror?
Terror.
Terror. Terror. Yeah. Now
Drama
it's a Pokemon.
series.
It is a
Drama
it's
series?
based on a novel, and it's currently well, it's quote unquote airing in the UK. It's on BBC Two, but you can watch it all on iPlayer.
Yeah, the anthology series, right?
Yeah, well, I didn't know at first it was an anthology series.
Oh, fuck
I
it.
just knew it was I thought it was like a one-off.
Yeah.
It's based on a novel called The Terror. I forget who by, and
Dan
basically
Simmons.
it's a period drama about this boat, full of Her Majesty's navy who trying to find a passage, sort of like what's called the Northern Passage between like I guess the Pacific Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean through, I guess, North America or Canada. So
Yeah.
through these frozen wastes, and they get trapped in the ice, and then some kind of like maybe not historically accurate supernatural based stuff happens. But
Okay.
it's a great show because it's the way it's, first of all, the cinematography is beautiful because it's exec produced by Ridley Scott.
Oh, yes,
Produced
of
by
course it's
his,
going to look nice.
production company, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's got that going for it to begin with. Then you've got a whole host of actors in it who are like great English actors, and I can't remember their names because all I can remember is their character names in Game of Thrones. So Mance Rayder. Mance Rayder's in it.
Yes. Ah.
And the guy who played Edmund Tully's in it.
Yes.
And they have phenomenal like roles in it. The because it's all that kind of like British kind of like we'll make the best of it, kind of like I'm in charge, blah 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 blah, kind of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And it's about the hubris of this captain who doesn't hear the words from his like his I guess vice captain, or there are two ships anyway, so it might be the captain of the other ship. Who's like, we need to turn around and go back, and he's like, no, we'll be fine. Cut 6 months later, they're like,
Not
eating
fine.
tins of food. That boat's been frozen still for 6 months. I don't want to give it all away, but it's really good. It's really good at keeping the atmosphere going because we binge watched it. Like we must have watched like 5 episodes in one night. But we didn't feel like overwhelmed by the kind of miseryness of it. But there is an aspect of kind of like, oh, there are 5 of us left, and he's got gangrene,
Yeah.
and he's got scurvy, and we're gonna die.
It kind of has to be, doesn't it? There has to be that threat. Because, like, can you imagine if they made it? It's like, we're all doing all right. They'll come through on schedule. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But there's some not problematic stuff, but there's some there are some grey areas there with some of the characters. I mean, the most prominent gay character is evil as fuck, like the most evil person. So I don't know exactly. I gather that's sort of the same in the book, so I don't know if it's a book thing or not. But overall, it didn't ruin the enjoyment of the show at all. He's just sometimes, I guess, evil bastards happen to be, you know, homosexual as well.
Yeah, I've known gay people that are pieces of shit as well as just as much as straight people.
So maybe in that regard, you know, it's not a problem. But it was kind of in my mind because he's pretty much the only one.
Yeah, I see what I mean. It's like
there was a subtext with another two characters because I mean it's a lot of men at sea, so you don't know what is platonic friendship and what is maybe
seamen,
if you know what I mean. But yeah, lots of seamen at sea. Yeah.
Right, it's an AMC show. So that means it's. I'm surprised it's on BBC because AMC stuff usually goes on to Sky, doesn't it?
So am I. Yeah, I mean, I heard about it before this year, but then when we just happened to be watching something. I think we were watching that new quiz show with Gordon Ramsay on it. I don't know if you've seen that. Like, okay.
Does he just scream at people?
Yeah, does he just insult you when you get the wrong answer?
Yeah.
You donkey!
It's called Bank Balance, and there's like literally this podium in the center with this kind of thing hanging on it that looks kind of like a plunk, and you have to balance these bricks on it, and it's called Bank Balance. So if you you can't choose where you get to put the stuff, so you pick a number. Oh shit, we've got to put some on that side because that side's, you know. So anyway, and it's great because it was aired after 9 p.m, so he technically can swear. He doesn't swear as much as in Hell's Kitchen, but he does do some swearing here and there.
Okay, but it's like that's so weird. Like it's like, well, I've got a new game show idea. We need someone to host it. Get me Gordon Ramsay.
I'm pretty sure it's his production company that makes it because it's called like Team Ramsay at the end comes up or something. So, to be honest, it looks like he's decided to I don't know if he still lives in America or if he's decided to move back here and he's moved back here and he's like, I don't want to do cooking shows anymore. Quiz show, fuck it, yeah, I'll do that.
Just told me if I keep screaming at people, I'm gonna have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I saw the advert after that finished, it was like now on BBC Two The Terror, and I was like, oh fuck, okay. So yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I've had my Gordon Ramsay, you know, my joviality. Now it's time for.
What a delightful marriage, you know. You have Gordon Ramsay and then the Terror. It's like, okay, yeah. For some people, he is.
Yeah.
Hell's Kitchen, the Terror. Show, especially if you can, if you're in the UK, you can watch it on iPlayer, or if you have a VPN, you can watch it on iPlayer.
Is that a sponsor?
Not in the UK, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's a sponsor, right?
Everyone's sponsored by fucking is it? Well, I can't remember the name of the company, but it's like, hey, EVPN or whatever it's called. Like, oh Jesus, here we go.
I use NordVPN.
Oh, that's the one. Yeah. It's like, I want it. I'll find it.
Yeah.
Although I think a lot of American wrestling fans are going to be wanting that at the moment because of the WWE Network has moved over to Peacock. I don't know what Peacock is. Chris, you know, you might know, but yeah, it's
I don't know anything. I haven't watched TV in 14 years. I don't know what's going on.
It's either a TV network or a streaming service or both. I don't know, but yeah, it's the WWE Network is now on Peacock, and apparently there's just like loads of stuff missing. Like you can't go back and watch loads of old stuff anymore. It only goes back to like 2008.
Well, see, why would they let you do that when they can just recharge you for watching it, you know, later on?
Exactly, but yeah, it's like really painful to watch at the moment. Apparently,
NBC based.
Okay, but yeah, obviously that's because we don't have Peacock or an equivalent over here, so we're quite lucky. We've still got.
Wait, do you have to buy a Peacock? Is the Peacock the projector?
Yeah, it's a cool way to watch it, I suppose. You know. It's a bit difficult sometimes, but no, yeah. So, yeah, I imagine a lot of American wrestling fans are going to be looking at VPN services and maybe changing it to the UK or something, just because they're missing like tons and tons of content, which is
that's terrible.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
We're looking down the barrel of 2 years from now, where everything offers. You know, you must have seen the Red Letter Media joke video about it, where every service you're gonna have to have 60 services.
Yeah, they did that like a couple of years ago. Now they're just like, oh, maybe we shouldn't joke about this stuff.
Yeah, now it's real. Welcome to reality. That's why I can't even bother watching TV anymore. And I haven't, like I said, I mean, I thought about like 14 years. Yeah, it's about 14 years that I haven't watched TV in any constructive manner.
Damn.
I don't even know how to use a remote control anymore. My parents are like, hey, can you turn off the TV? I'm like, how? You have 3 remote controls. Which power button is it? I don't want to turn off anything that'll ruin a recording, and I'll just leave it alone. And in exchange, they're like, hey, here's the PS4 controller. Can you turn Netflix on for us? I'm like, yeah, here, I got
Yeah.
that.
Just on you, Chris. I've got an Amazon Fire Stick. I don't even need to press buttons. I just talk to it.
Oh, you've got a talking one.
Alexa,
Show me terror.
Play Hell's Kitchen.
You donkey!
You donkey. Put bread on your head. What are you? Anyway, it's been about an hour now, so I think we should go ahead and talk about Cabin in the Woods. I've been racking my brain for a fun segue, and I just couldn't come up with one, so I apologize for that.
I think there's legitimacy to the fuck it segue where you just like there is no segue at all is kind of a segue.
It's like you say, like the intro of the film is just 2 guys in an office that we don't know yet talking. And
Yeah.
Then there's a loud orchestral sting and the music. It's the Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Office talk. Which is terrifying and frightening if you've been working from home for the past year. That is frightening. It's like, oh no, I'm going to have to go back to the office at some point.
Yeah. So,
talk.
Yeah, well,
anyone...
it's your movie, so why don't you just start us off on it?
Right. So, anyone who knows me knows that I don't particularly like horror stuff.
Nice.
I know I'm in the wrong place, but I think that makes me an excellent straight man for the podcast. Like, I'm just like always the outside viewer because I don't really get into it. And I do love Silent Hill. I do like my classic Resident Evil and some other things. But for the most part, I'm really not into like slasher flicks. That's like one of my top things. Like, I would never really watch a Jason movie. I would never watch a Chucky movie. I watched like the first Freddy and I thought that it was okay. And then every Freddy after that becomes like a comedy. Strangely.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, it became a thing for me. I was like, you know what? Freddy's fine. It's just a comedy. I didn't know that. Now that I know it's a comedy, I don't really care about it too much. But, so I get really tired of it really quickly. And then my friend and his cousin, they were both like, you need to watch Cabin in the Woods. I'm like, why the f*** do I need to watch Cabin in the Woods? It's a slasher movie. You guys know I don't care about slasher movies. I mean, I'm sure it's a well-produced, fantastic movie that, like, breaks all the barriers or crushes the mold or something, but I don't care. Like Garlips with Borderlands. I don't care. I'm done. I saw it. I don't care. But then they basically like forced me to watch it. I couldn't leave the house until I watched it. So I watched it. I was like, fine. Yeah, there's the teens. Yep, they're gonna go die. This is gonna be how it goes. Did that bird just hit a force field? Like, I think 15 minutes into the movie, a bird, like a hawk, flies into an actual force field. And I was like, wow, wait. Sorry about my dog. She's barking right now.
She's in agreement with you.
Yeah, she's like, yeah, fuck slasher movies. And so when I saw the bird, I started going, okay, hold on a second. And I started really watching it. But then it went back to like typical slasher stuff again, where it's like the teenagers go to a cottage and 2 of them are totally gonna fuck, and there's the one who doesn't, and then there's the one who's off, and then it keeps cutting back to that office, and I'm like, anyway. So the point is, it became a very interesting movie for me, and the end of the movie was a really good ending to me. Like, I had no idea what was happening. Whereas with a slasher flick, you always know that someone's going to find like an explosive or some other way to decapitate the slasher guy, and they're going to come back in the next movie, but for the moment, they're safe. But that didn't happen in this movie. So I feel like it's a standout that needs to be looked at and talked about, because I don't know a lot of people who's actually seen it. Every time I bring it up, it's like, Cabin in the Woods? No, the Woods. And that's how it usually goes. So that's why I brought it up for the podcast this time around.
I think the friends did you a service in making you sit down and watch it, and that kind of leads me to a bigger point about these kinds of things. Is the best way these things work is when you aren't aware that there's a twist, when you don't know anything about it. But the problem is, if you're not into those things, you kind of need someone to go, look, just sit down and watch this, all right? And the problem is, like, in this day and age, like, you know, we are called spoilers of the damned. it's very hard to preserve the secret or the surprise without, at the very least, indicating there is one. So
yeah, like I've known a couple of people that like, no, Cabin was like, it's just gonna like you said, it's just because they even said they started watching it and turned it off. It's like, no, they went, it was just so generic, and I've seen it before. I'm like, no, that. I was like, that's the point.
Yeah.
But with trying my best not to spoil it by going, no, there's a twist. It's like, no, the fact that you've seen it before, that is a point. That is basically a plot point.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I was like, just stick with it, please. It's good. It's great. Stick with it, please.
Yeah.
the fact you've seen it all before is the point.
Yeah. And I think by the end, it really was worth it. But there are some rough spots, I think, with the killings that are really gory and kind of like, I don't want to watch this today, but, you know. But the production value is still really good too, and the number of monsters that they can get on screen in this movie is probably like a record-breaking movie.
Well, yeah,
if you think about it, you know.
I mean, I imagine it was. I was talking to, because me and Kitty watched it over the weekend, and we were talking about it, and I said, like, I imagine it was probably quite stressful for the special effects team because they had to make so many different kinds of creatures, but at the same time, it must have been pretty cool because they're like, yeah, just what about this? Oh yeah, that'd be great, and then we'll do this, and then they put lots of references in to lots of creatures as well. Obviously, there's the not Pinhead Cenobite.
Yeah,
he's holding a round puzzle box, so it's definitely not Hellraiser, but it is.
Totally
it's not
not.
Hellraiser. You know, and stuff like that. So they could, and some of them they get really creative with. You've also got like a creepy clown and stuff, but. Yeah, it strikes me as a film that was a lot of fun to make.
Yeah, it had to be.
Yeah, it looks like there's just sometimes in films you just get like this sense that they were having fun making this, like like all the actors, yeah, this could be completely different than like it's because it's almost a send up and a love letter to the genre as a whole.
It's extremely postmodern.
Yeah, it's great.
It's very self-aware. And that's fine. The thing that it kept reminding me of, and I mean, it's not fair because this was made something like 2011 or something like that. Was it even earlier than that?
It's 10 years old, yeah. It's 10 years old now.
Well, yeah, because we've got a either like pre-Thor Chris Hemsworth or kind of like...
Yeah. Yep, he's obviously quite toned, but he's nowhere near as big as he is now. Like muscle-wise. It's fucking huge now.
Yeah. So, like...
Babyface Hemsworth.
So that means that my favourite movie of this kind, Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, came after, because I think that was something like 2013.
Yeah.
So that's this movie reminds me of Tucker and Dale vs. Evil a lot, because it's playing with the horror tropes, it's subverting your expectations, there is humour in it as well.
It's funny, it's really funny.
It is, and I mean, so it's just the way my brain works, me being unfairly kind of like judging it, going like, but I like Tucker and Dale more. It's like, yeah, but no one asked my brain which one it liked more, so never mind, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
judging it on what it actually does is hard for me, because I like something that does it in my mind like a little bit funnier, but I still think like it has huge merit for doing the things that it does.
Yeah, there's not a lot of comedy in this movie. So some of it's visual, but for the most part, like the only joke that carries it comedically is the fact that the 5 teenagers represent the Scooby-Doo gang.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Like, did you guys know that? I thought you guys knew that.
I mean, obviously, Marcy is Shaggy,
time.
obviously.
Yes.
But yeah, I actually called him Shaggy at one point last night when we were watching it, and I still didn't twig.
Yeah, and then Chris Hemsworth's character and Julie is Freddy and Daphne, and then Velma is the smart one with the books, obviously, and then Scoopy is the dark-skinned guy. So that's just how it is. But yeah, then they have the big van. It's the Mystery Machine. They don't color it that way. I mean, it's very much like an off-brand Mystery Machine experience. But when you look at it that way, it's like, oh, okay. And that carries it all the way until like whatever next joke they have. But I feel like that tone is too subtle and it gets lost kind of early because like when the first kill happens, they summon a zombie cannibal family.
Yeah, like the religious zealots, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and they kill Julie really quick, and it's really graphic and it's terrifying. And like my wife was like, "I don't like these kinds of movies." And I'm like, I know, I'm so sorry, actually.
You're like, but stick with it.
Yeah. Well, for her, it was already like midnight, so she just went to bed. And I was like, okay, I'll just watch the rest of this myself, and I'll just run the summary down so she'll know where the movie actually went good. Like it kind of reminds me of, not trying to get too far off track, but like Saw 3. I didn't like the first half, but the end of that movie made the whole movie good, and then they made a 4, 5, and 6, which is like, why would they do that? But anyway, going back to Cabin, that kill was like, okay, this is what I don't like about slasher movies, but I guess it has to be in there because it's basically a slasher movie that's, you know, pander or not. What's the
fan service?
Not pander. Anyway, they're making fun of slasher movies. Parody. That's the word. Yeah, I couldn't. I was like, pander. No. Pander. No. Pander. No. Parody. Yes. Thank you, brain. So after that, though, the rest of the movie is more or less okay. I do question how this bear trap on a chain works, because you have to set a bear trap for it to jaw. Yeah. Otherwise, you're just bonking people with it from a range. But it does give the good image of a redneck zombie family that eats people.
Exactly.
Oh, good.
I was gonna say, it looks like the type of weapon you would see in a very schlocky slasher film, like a low rent slasher film, like is it Wrong Turn, the one about like the mutant hillbillies that's terrible, that they remade recently for some reason. It's like, let's remake Wrong Turn.
I know the kind of like Hills Have Eyes and that kind of thing.
So it kind of and that works, I think, because he's like, that character that uses it is a very like Jason Voorhees-esque hulking brute of a man, and it is a completely ridiculous weapon, and then it totally fits into that monster that they end up inadvertently summoning.
It's kind of funny when you think about the fact that they're supplying them with that equipment, though. So someone is making the tools.
Training them. They must be training them.
That's probably a department.
Yeah, it probably is.
in that facility. Because, like, the fact when I didn't catch this the first time, because obviously I just watched the movie blind. I had no idea what I was even watching. When they're talking about, you know, the chem department and zoology and things like that, I'm like, why is it 2 movies like mashed together? I don't get it. But now that I do get it, zoology has got to be horrifying to work at. You'd have to be a special kind of fucked up to want to work in that particular department, and to keep it running. Because a slip up there, well, we saw the end of the movie. A slip up there would be monstrous, quite literally. But yeah, so also special mention to Jodelle Ferland. That's her name. Yeah, she was the lady who played Alessa in the Silent Hill movie. She's also in this movie as the one-armed little girl.
Was that her?
Yes.
I didn't know that was. I mean, to be fair, she's wearing so much makeup in there, isn't she?
Right. Yeah, she doesn't look like that now.
she got her arm back as well.
She got better, yeah.
I had no idea that was her. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She was finally in a good film. Cool. Great. Good for her.
Yeah.
She's still acting. She's 26 now. God. I'm getting so old. She's 26.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. She is. Sorry.
God.
Let's let it set in.
I swear that is a horrible feeling. I sorry to go off track. It's such a horrible feeling when there's like a child actor from something that doesn't feel like it was that long ago. And I wonder what they're doing now. They're in their mid-20s. Oh, fuck.
They have grandkids.
Fuck.
What the heck?
It's about the time saying Macaulay Culkin's like 42 or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's looking great now, though.
He looks better than that one picture of him, for sure. Did you know he used to work at a Subway for like 11 years?
I could believe that, actually.
Yeah, he mentioned it on Red Letter Media, and I don't want to sidetrack too much, but I think it's really important to point out how cool that is. You know, it's just like, what's wrong with working at a Subway? We used to working one for 11 years. It's like, oh shit, can you imagine going to a Subway and getting a meatball sandwich from Macaulay Culkin?
Just stood there the whole time like,
Have I seen you in something?
yeah, do I know you? No, you don't know me. No.
I'm sure. Yeah, the first 500 times he hears "keep the change, you filthy animal," it's very funny.
Yeah.
But like, after that.
Keep the change, you filthy old. Shut up!
Yeah, I don't hear that
Shut
200 times
That's
a day,
that's why he stopped working at Subway, was when he attacked the customer.
Yeah.
But,
So,
moving back to the movie, I was just
Yes.
gonna say
yes.
that, these things we're talking about, these kind of tropes and not just iconography, but also the the specific types of character. I think it's kind of quite telling that because there's that line in the movie about like which gets me onto another thing. Oh my god, right. So first of all, my one issue with this movie is that some of the people are way too switched on in terms of coming to conclusions or coming to correct conclusions. They explained it a bit by saying, oh, he smokes weed, which means it didn't affect him. Like, none of our things affected him, so he was able to work it out. That it's not
I think
real
that.
or whatever. But when,
Yeah, I think
when
they
go
like
down to the thing at the end,
yeah.
sorry, with the tablets and stuff, she's like, this is us. I'm like, the next thing I
Yeah.
was expecting her to say was the whore, the footballer, like she just regurgitate the words because she's learned them through osmosis. But anyway, the main point was that because these characters work stuff out so quickly. What was my point? Shit. What were we talking about?
Mystery? Is it the sense of mystery?
You're talking about the how on point they were with their conclusions, which I'll just go ahead and speak until you remember your point.
Yeah, I'm trying desperately. I had a point,
Yeah.
but then I segued into another point, which led me onto another thing, and now I forgot the original thing, which is
Yeah,
really...
you have to avoid doing that. You have to stop yourself.
They were forced into those roles is my main point. So like they said the character at one point says he's a philosophy major. He doesn't like act like this. He's not like
why isn't he acting like an alpha? Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah.
is-
So that
Oh yeah,
was my
he's a
point.
sociology major.
And
Yeah,
they're a bit too
sociology
intelligent to come to those, like, I think, conclusions immediately. Although, to be fair, they're characters who know each other for a while, so maybe...
Yeah,
Right.
I didn't mind that so much because, you know, it's because I think it's good to have that one character who's like, what the no, really, why is everyone acting so fucking strange? It's like, why? He's never acted like that at all before. She's acting very promiscuous all of a sudden. But yeah, I didn't mind that so much because I think it also because we get some cool moments like the subliminal messages, the fact that only he can hear them because obviously he's not susceptible to any of their drugs or anything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the open it, and he's like, did anyone fucking hear that? But
Yeah,
then
right.
the joke there is that it still works.
Them are hearing those things, but because the drugs are in their system or whatever,
Yeah.
they don't realise they're hearing it.
Yeah,
I
that's what I'm
realised that.
assuming. I mean,
I
it is
just
an
thought-
assumption to be fair, but I still think it's got a good little. It's not the best joke by far, but it's a good little gag when he hears, "I'm gonna go out for a walk." He's like, "Seriously, who the fuck is saying that? This is weird." No. And he's like, and it says it again. He's like, "Shut the fuck up." Oh, I'm gonna go out for a walk, and it's like, "Yeah, that's great. That's good. That's weird."
Kind of funny. I
thought-
actually didn't hear any of the voices that he was hearing. He just kept reacting to voices. But
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
there's-
that it was all set up for that because that's how the whole thing works, obviously.
But yeah, there's, because it's when they're in the
They
attic.
are there, for sure.
Yeah, it's when they're in the not the attic, the basement, and you can hear a voice just say, "Read." And she's like, "Oh, there's Latin here." And he's like, "Maybe we should stop."
Yeah,
like, that's
I'm drawing
me.
a line here.
Like,
Don't do
I'm
this.
done, mate. I've
Yeah.
seen movies. Like, oh, there's creepy Latin in a book. I'm not reading it. I don't even believe in this shit. I don't want to take the chance.
It is kind of funny they throw all that iconography at once. Like you said, the off-brand, like puzzle cube sphere
Yeah.
thing, and she's looking at the ancient book with Latin and stuff.
Yeah, and that again leads to I think one of the better jokes, which is when it's revealed. Oh, and it's the Buckners. Oh, fucking zombies
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, we'll never have a merman. I just think it'd be cool if we had a merman.
It's like maybe
He had
next
the
time.
conch shell in his face.
Yeah, it's just like he had it. He had it. It's like I just want to see a merman. He goes, look, they're terrifying. Cleanup's terrible. You don't want to see. See a merman. But
Well, I
that
mean,
does.
technically, a merman would probably do all of the killing in the water, or close enough to the water.
Yeah,
You could
it's-
probably just like let nature take its course in that
Yeah, I mean-
year, you know.
Obviously, spoilers. We do see one, but it's so
It's
slow. I love that.
Yeah, it's
Um,
great.
But I mean, that does actually very, very nicely segue into, I think, my personal two favorite characters in the whole film, which is Gary and Steve, played by Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford, who are fucking awesome.
Yeah,
They are my favorite thing in the film, and they're two of the funniest things in the film as well. They have such good chemistry together. Like, and I'm actually forgetting the doctor as well, Dr. Lin. Like the three of them, I totally believe they work together. I absolutely believe they work together.
Yeah, you get a sense they have for years doing this.
Yeah.
Which also
and
explains the reason why their characters, like, they took pause maybe ever so slightly when the first kill happened.
Yeah.
But apart from that, they were just so completely like over people dying and having to die. Like, I guess without getting into it, they kind of, they've seen so much of it that would explain why they're kind of desensitized to it. Because
but I
the
like
whole time thinking, you guys are funny, but you're also horrible people. Horrible people.
But what's great about that is that I think they know that as well. Like, because there's, like you're saying, is that when Jules is killed, they're both just kind of sat there, just they don't look happy. They look quite depressed, if anything. And you've got, I think it's Gary's. He says, I think it's something like to the Ancient One. They don't look particularly happy about it, but it's like, hey, we've got to do it.
Yeah.
Someone's
The
gonna...
amulet thing that he like prays to and kisses, I think at that point.
Yeah.
I didn't notice this the first time, but that amulet's the same shape as the floor at the end of the movie in the main chamber. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, like the movie is put well together enough that they do the setups and payoffs correctly. Like a lot of the things that they start, they finish in some way, which is like how you do a good movie. If you just set up cool things and just go, they're just cool, and then leave it that way, it's just not as cool as if this is a cool thing and a cooler end, you know.
Yeah.
It's that good way of world building. Like the thing it reminds me of is John Wick. I think the first John Wick, where like he gets into the hotel for hired killers.
Oh yeah,
just,
the
like,
assassin
hands over
hotel.
A coin or whatever, and it's just like, you know that it's important and it has gravitas and it means things. Like they say in this movie, they say their prayer and he holds the medallion thing, and you're like, oh, this is like there are rules to this. There is like there is a mythology, a backstory that we don't necessarily see that much of, and like you say, you just get a sense that it's there and it's cool. You don't have to know the precise in and outs. I mean, they do a scene at the end where they kind of have to explain that stuff.
It's the Bagul scene almost, isn't it?
The hint of it though is better.
Yeah, they don't give away too much, which is good. It's just like, hey, Ancient Ones, you're like, oh, okay, I know Lovecraftian horror. Cthulhu, Shub-Niggurath, that kind of thing. Great old ones, cool, gotcha. Like, as long as you know cosmic horror, like they don't need to go too far into what or who the Ancient Ones are, because unless a film would have done that, it'd be like, oh my god, it's Azathoth.
Because I knew,
but not Azathoth, because that'd be cool.
Yeah,
but it's
because I knew the twist. This time I was watching intently to see when it was actually tipped, like the scale in terms of telling people what's going on, even if it's indirectly. And what I liked about this was at the beginning, it could just be like a weird, I don't know, snuff movie, like incredibly multi-million snuff movie setup where like, oh, we just need to get them there and kill them. And you don't know there's necessarily this whole mythology keeping demon gods at bay or whatever to begin with. So you might think, so if someone said to you, oh, watch this movie, it's really good, there's a twist, and you watched it, you might think, oh, cool, the twist is that they're engineering a situation maybe to make a movie for billionaires to buy on a black market or something.
Oh, it's
like, you don't immediately leap to, like ritualistic sacrifice.
The ancient ones who must keep them at bay.
Yeah.
We just refer to them as downstairs. You know, as long as downstairs is happy, they don't care about what we do up here.
Yeah, they're like, I think they call this. They refer to them as downstairs. They refer to the audience at some point. And again, a lesser film he would have gone, well, we have to appease them. You know, well, now I know something's going on. Yeah, I know there's something bigger happening.
And
at first.
The two coworkers would be like, you know, we used to work together for like the last 11 years, right?
As you know, they say that hundreds of years ago. Like, why are you telling him this? He knows. Well, they explain it to the new guard. The new guard, who's like not in the film much, but again, I really like him because he's kind of got like this, you know, moral compass almost. Like he calls them out. He's like, you're rigging the game. You're rigging this. Yeah. They don't have free will. It's like, no, but they do. They still have to. They're still doing the misdemeanor. They're the ones that they're causing it to happen. It's like, yeah, but you're rigging this. Do they? If you say they still have free will, but at one point, that like Chris Hemsworth's character's like, right, we're gonna stick together. We're gonna battle, you know, because he's obviously the effects wearing off. And they're like, pump it some more. And he's like, no, we should totally split up. It's like you're rigging it. Yeah. And I was thinking when the guard brings it up, I think it's almost like the film's kind of hinting that, yeah, this is rigged. And what happens when you keep rigging a game? Someone breaks it. Someone's going to realize you're rigging it. And they break it. And that's exactly what happens. You can only rig it for so long until the game breaks. Something breaks, something goes wrong, because you can't foresee everything. And yeah, it goes wrong.
In this case, though, I would say the thing they did not see coming is that Marty could take a knife in the back and still live. Yeah. As well as Kurt. Is his name Kurt? Yeah, the Chris Hemsworth's character.
Yeah.
He took like a
big old trail. Nope. Oh, we lost.
Must be about 40 minutes again.
Oh, am I back where I shouldn't be? I am. Yes.
I don't know why. I can't even imagine why this happens. That's the worst part. I don't. I mean, it's not my connection.
So
it's just Discord is like, no, you can't now. You're done.
You're the only person I've ever had this with as well.
It's specifically Discord, isn't it?
So,
anyway,
Kurt is able to take grievous wounds. Marty's allowed to take grievous wounds. Heck, even Dana, was that her name? The one who was supposed to be Velma?
By a werewolf.
Yeah, like that's it. She's done. But she's like, I'm fine. I stopped the bleeding with sheer willpower and knowledge.
She's kind of just like, I'm done. She just doesn't move afterwards. To be fair.
Yeah, that's true. And she does mention that she's like, I think she says something like, I'm letting go or I'm fading away or something like that.
Yeah.
Something kind of ominous about how she might be passing right there on the steps.
She's like, I think I'm okay with this. It's almost like,
Yeah.
But then again, has another great line of, I wish I could have seen them. It's like, I know.
Well, look down, Marty. Just go to the edge of the platform and look the fuck down. It's right there.
But I love that line. It's like, if we're all going to die, I want to see them. It's like, yeah, but you're not going to really. You're just going to see a very generic hand, but you know.
Yeah, well, it's fine. I'm okay with all that. I mean, they've shown us so many monsters that the big hand doesn't need to upstage all of the monsters.
Still waiting for a really good Cthulhu movie.
But to continue with the plot summary, though, they do find a book with a diary. Sorry, they find a diary that's also a book, and it's got passages in it written by one of the family members about how she's unable to find the faith in, like, through pain like her father is. And how her father has like a husband's bulge when he's dealing pain, which
it's so schlocky.
Yeah, they set that up, and then later on, when Marty cockblocks Holden and Dana, he's like, hey, he's got a husband's bulge as he's walking by her, and again, set up payoff. They could do husband's bulge as a thing, as like the old terms or whatever, but they made it into a joke later. It's perfect. And reading this Latin in the diary is what summons the zombies.
Yep.
The zombies come and they kill Jules and they almost kill Kurt and the rest of them. They end up fending him off. They escape in the van.
Yeah.
Escape in the van.
Like, just fucking get out, right?
Yeah, which is what normal people would do, right? And they get to the part where it's like the Silent Hill roads, where it's just shunted off because of some sort of explosion they put there, I think.
But the explosion doesn't go off, does it?
Right. The cave-in
Yeah, the caving didn't happen. Yeah, which is great.
Because they didn't get the call. I wonder
Well,
what that
no,
was.
they said no, but there was like I think it was a power surge, and that's why
Yeah.
they're like nothing's working. And I was like, I know what happens is because when they think Marty's been killed, they pull the lever, and there's a rumble because the ancient ones like, no, he's not fucking dead. There's also the facility rumbles. Like, I'm certain that's what trips the electrics.
That's it.
I'm
Okay, because I was actually thinking about that. Like, was it just sort of a Deus Ex Machina kind of thing, where it's like things must change now or something?
Yeah.
But no, that makes a lot of sense when Marty gets dragged off and they're like, "Well, fool's dead."
Yeah, they assume, and they wrongly assume, because when they're all celebrating, which is hilarious because they were celebrating as Dana's being attacked, as she's being attacked.
Yeah,
it's fine if she survives. It's good.
Juxtaposition. Such a strange juxtaposition on that, because she's like getting lifted over the dude's head and slammed onto the pier, and like
champagne.
And they're like, yeah, she doesn't even have to die. As long as she suffers, it's fine.
But it's like the I can't remember if it's not maintenance. Whether they come up, they go, no, really, no, that wasn't us. There was some kind of issue. Gary looks like genuinely concerned, and then the red phone rings, the ominous red phone.
Yeah.
From the director.
Mm-hmm. The director,
who, well, turns out to be someone very famous.
Right.
Which is really cool.
It's really kind of cool. So, they get to the point where they're trying to escape. Just sleeping back a little bit before the celebration. It's the point they're trying to escape. Kurt's like, I'm going to make the jump past this busted up road, and I'm going to get people. I'm going to get people with guns. I'm going to get police. I'm going to get everybody. And, we're going to do this for Jules. Right? And like, all right, here you go. You smooth road, go. And I don't understand why they blew up the road at this point with that force field there. He does the jump, and he's like, yeah, like slamming a Mountain Dew while in the middle of the air, and then hits the force field like the bird did earlier, and then fucking dies.
I mean, I don't think they were expecting him to do that.
You got to
jump it, are they? How it's too far.
You got a point there. You got a point.
I mean, he would have made it.
Yeah, he would have made it. They didn't know who they were dealing with.
Yeah, that's the funniest.
Kurt is a stunt jumper for sure.
Yeah, that's probably the funniest death in the film. Like, I remember the first time I saw it, just belly laughing when he just slams. It's a funny death. It's really funny because there's that moment, because they set it up that there's a force field there. They establish it, they foreshadow it. But because it happens so long ago in the film, there's a chance that a lot of people would have forgotten. That I did. And he's revving the bike, and so I'm sat there going, oh no. Slam. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny anyway.
No, it was. I mean, ragdoll physics are always hilarious.
Just slams into it. Oh, right in the face. Like, yeah. There he goes.
Yeah.
Dong, dong, dong. Hits it on the way down. It's good stuff.
But, so Dana and Holden are, like, the last two. They're driving away thinking, like, what do we do now? And Dana's already put it together. That force field was like, well, we can't get out. I mean, it's pretty clear that we are stuck here. And Holden's like, no, we'll just keep driving. It'll be fine. Like, you can't, it won't.
You can't get out. Yeah, I think that's fair that she's... Because, by that point, you'd be like, so the road inexplicably blew up, and now there's a sci-fi force field. Like, we're not getting out. Come on, there.
Right.
I'm fine with her, figuring out, because, you would... It's like, there's something dodgy.
And it's established that she's very smart.
Yeah.
She's not just Marty. Yeah, they seem to be doing well in college.
And then it's not until, because Jules is intelligent. They're all at college, and there's like that great. It's not a throwaway line, but there's a great line with Dr. Lim when they say about, we put the chemicals in her hair dye, so it should be taking effect around about now, to turn her into a stereotypical bimbo, like a bimbo in a horror film.
Yeah.
Great. It's good stuff.
I will criticize them for one thing that they didn't try, and immediately moving towards just nihilism of we're fucked. Much like The Simpsons in the Simpsons movie about The Simpsons. No one tries digging under the force field.
Okay.
So,
you know how hard it is to dig?
It was a long way down.
Like,
Stop you right there, pal. I've had to dig like a few feet before, and now I get exhausted.
Well, if you get a few feet down and the force field like still inexplicably is then by all means,
You're like,
that's bang. I get it.
backing out.
Oh,
It'd be a different movie.
fair point though. You know, if it's just like on touching the ground and you can get underneath it, then great. But yeah,
It's worth a
that would be
go,
something. But Holden has the most anticlimactic death, unfortunately. Like, he's driving the car, and one of the zombies are somehow in the car, and he just gets shanked in the back of the neck, like, while he's driving.
Yeah, because Jules, we see. I mean, her death is off screen, but we know she's done. It's the saw. But then
it wasn't off screen enough.
Oh, you're not watching the films, my friend. We can watch the Lucio Fulci movie. No, but obviously, but then there's the payoff where, you know, she's like, oh, we have to go to get Jules, and he's there, and he throws the head. Very violent, great. Obviously, Chris Hemsworth has a hilarious death. Even, like, Marty's is quite brutal because he's like screaming for help, and but again, the first time I see it, it's like he's just figured out that they're being watched.
Yeah.
And he's like, "That's fucking cool," and they're like, "No, don't panic." And he almost has them, and he's like, "I'm on a reality TV show." And then he gets grabbed. He's like, "No, he was figuring it out. Fuck." And he's crying, screaming for help, and that's pretty brutal. Chris Hemsworth is hilarious, obviously, like I said. But yeah, Holden's is just, he's dead. Like,
yeah, we killed him. He's dead now. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it is a very just. I always forget he's like the one character I forget is in the movie, because
he's a bit of a non-character.
Yeah, he has like a couple of funny moments,
that's
but
kind of a metatextual commentary on the fact that they are there as roles to play, and not necessarily to provide any personality or what have you.
Yeah, because all of a sudden he's the egghead. He's the really nerd one. He like inexplicably just starts wearing glasses, like out of nowhere. He's like, "Oh, like she gets the book and he gets his glasses on, and then he wears them for like the rest of the movie."
I actually thought he was mute. Because I don't know why, but I don't remember him ever saying anything from the first movie. First time I watched it, and I'm sorry, I walked right over you. I thought you were done. But I was so sure he was mute that I told my wife, I was like, "Hey, yeah, this guy's mute because he's supposed to be Scooby or something." And then he just starts talking up a storm later. I'm like, "Oh, whoops."
He's like,
"What?" Could have swore.
But like, Scooby talks a lot.
Yeah, I know. I was just like putting a thing and a thing together, and it just went. But they didn't actually get in together, so I
knew that two people survived to the end, and one of them was the girl, but I'd completely forgotten who it was. So I presumed it was him when the other guy, Shaggy, got killed.
Yeah.
I'd completely forgotten it was actually him who made it to the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Which, and that's another thing about this movie. They do set up, like, okay, you don't care much about Kurt, except that he's just testosterone-driven, like, athletic guy. You care even less about Jules for the same reason that you're not supposed to care about any of the teens in every slasher movie ever. She's just the promiscuous one. So when she dies, it's kind of like, well, she got what she deserved, having sex outside. Stupid. Anyway, and then Marty's the one that we all like. Straight up. You know, he's smart. He's not necessarily like athletic or capable, but he understands like threats and making using words, and even stands up for his friends against Mordecai, the guy at the gas station. I mean, he's just one of those dudes that's like, you know what, I'd be friends with that guy. He's pretty cool. So of course he's the one who survives at the end. He's supposed to be, because he's the one you like, that kind of thing.
I'll just take a second to say that Mordecai is excellent. He's really amazing.
On speakerphone.
Yeah, also, like, they did some. I don't know. Like, this is gonna sound awful because maybe the guy looks like that, but maybe they did something like, I swear, like his eyes were like bulging red. Like, like he just looked like the worst. Because he's supposed to look like the guy you take one look at and go, "Oh fuck!" Like, we are gonna die out here, kind of.
Cursed.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he's so serious, and they're all, just ribbing on him the whole time.
Yeah, it's like Gary. We've got not Gary. It's the other guy, isn't it? Steve. It's like, Steve, we've got Mordecai on line 1, and Gary's just like, don't.
Well, he doesn't look that bad
Okay,
in
cool.
real life.
Good.
In other roles, he doesn't look that bad, but he still looks rough.
Tim DEZAHN.
Yeah, with a last name like DEZAHN, you expect him to be an evil man, like an evil wizard, perhaps.
He's probably lovely. Pretty lovely guy.
The evil sorcerer DEZAHN.
DEZAHN.
And if he happens to be watching this, we're sorry. I didn't mean to make fun of you. I apologize deeply.
He's great. He's great in this.
I've seen you in.
He's listed as he was in Fight Club. I don't remember him in Fight Club though.
The 2 movies I've seen him in.
As well.
So, but yeah, skipping ahead a bit, Dana does happen to get away from the zombie because the car crashes into the lake and the zombie's stuck in the car as it goes down to the bottom of the lake. Dana climbs her way out, which is what leads us to the celebration scene because everyone at the facility thinks that all the kids are dead except for the optional one. So they're throwing champagne, party, success. Japan has already failed in their ritual.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Swearing at the children, I love it.
How hard is it to kill 9-year-olds?
That's like one of the best moments. Like again, it just cuts them, and they're just all like praying around it. It's like now the
part of the movie
in the cross.
It's the first time we cut to Japan. The girls are running around screaming because there's a ghost or whatever, like UK. I forget the Japanese word, but you know, like demonic, style villain. And,
You're like, oh god.
So yeah, and then they cut back, and they've managed to successfully exorcise.
And you just get like a middle-aged man yelling "fuck you" at children.
Yeah, Kimiko's spirit is in the frog now. That was my favorite part of the movie.
That was actually the part where my wife said she's going to go to bed. But before that, like she said she was going to go to bed, and then that scene played. She's like, "But you know, good job for those Japanese girls, though." Like,
it's a great moment.
You did it.
But then, because it's set up, isn't it, that only America and Japan have a 100% record with this as well.
I wonder how many, like, again, it's this that if they sat down and said to you, there are 20 facilities across the world, and each one, you know, blah blah blah, that's boring. But like, it's interesting to sit here and think, I wonder how many are sort of like dotted around the world, and how many are successful, and what kind of different things are in different places, and what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the countries had like a King Kong monster as well.
Wow.
I can't remember if it was Berlin or somewhere, but yeah, they had like a very large ape-like creature. But yeah, I love that little subtle world building. But anyway, yeah, sorry. Get back to the celebration.
Yeah, so the celebration, and what was really cool is that they did like a sweeping camera shot on all of the different countries failing their ritual, which I was immediately looking at like, man, I want to see those movies. I want to know what they've got going on. Like, I may be like I don't really care much for horror stuff, but I am interested in like new experiences, which this whole movie is a new mental experience, a new story to understand. And then yeah, so unfortunately we don't get that. We get just like the Japanese conclusion. We get like some quick snapshots or whatever, and we get the one that in America. And it's strange to just see how everyone's okay with it, how everyone competes, and it only takes one ritual for the whole thing to be okay. It seems, because as long as one of the countries pull it off, then everything's fine.
Yeah.
So but yeah, so they have their champagne. Poor Dana is getting roughed up on the pier. And then Marty returns. He didn't get killed. He shows up. The cannibal's swinging his chain over his head. And Marty uses his Extendo Bong coffee cup, which is an amazing prop.
I love it so much.
And he uses it to stop the chain. And he's like a hero all of a sudden, like he's got a sword. And then he, pulls him back, and then that's how he saves Dana from being killed. And that's like really cool because the favorite character you liked is back. Dana's still alive, who is another likable character, and they both get away. And Marty's like, "I figured it out, man." They go right back to like the grave where the zombies come out, and there's a trap door down there, and they go down, and it's like now we're in like future land. We're in steel walls, we're in glass windows. Like, what the heck? This is supposed to be under. This is mind-blowing stuff. And also there's a pile of like viscera in the corner because apparently Marty killed the one that was trying to kill him by dismembering him completely with a garden trowel.
Yeah, I love that.
So but he's also got like a maintenance thing opened. He's fiddling with wires so that they can activate an elevator and continue on. But they also ask, like, do we want to go down? Because they don't know what's down there. All they know is that there's zombies up there. And this is where, like, the movie is finally good to me. Like, I'm like, okay, this is all that I came here to see. And, yeah.
We have a troll in chat. That's interesting. It's the first time. And I wasn't going to address them, but the unfortunate thing is, even though I blocked
Oh, hey, buddy.
yeah, he's so butthurt because we don't address people. Well, I'm addressing you now, so well done. You got what you wanted. I've also blocked you and reported you. And now I'm just trying to find a way to delete your messages so they don't show up.
You have to ban them from chat. And you should also make both Lost and I mods so that we can.
So I've reported you. How do I
Have a good life, buddy.
How do I ban?
Hey, you know what you could try and do next time? You know what? Try and get a personality. Good luck, mate. See you later.
Right. But no more. There you go. You got it. No more of that. We don't need to even address those kinds of people at all. There's no reason to give them attention.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So,
sorry.
This is where it gets really interesting, though, because they get Garlips first. Oh.
Yeah. It's a special moment.
So, they get into the elevator, and that's like the best part because they're like in a perfectly sealed glass cage, like they're safe. And this elevator can like move sideways, forwards, down. It's one of those Harry Potter things, and it keeps sliding in front of like other monsters they could have been fighting. And like, see the Hellraiser guy with the circle, like the orb in his hand, and he's just like,
yeah, he's great. It's totally not Hellraiser at all.
Off brand.
Oh, I wish they could have got the license for that though. That'd been so cool.
There's also a werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh, and the ballerina with like just teeth for a face. Mm-hmm. That's something I don't recognize from any movie at all, but I loved it.
A lot of stuff like was made for the film, but there's also like the Hellraiser got loads of references as well. In fact, there is also
this is your cue to do all the references.
I mean, there was so many; it was difficult to find them. The Blob's in it, apparently. Blob's in one
really?
of them. Yep. I've seen the screenshots and all of the special infected from Left 4 Dead are in it.
Oh,
all of them. The Witch, the Boomer, like it's them. It's the character models. It's the same thing.
Really?
Yeah, all of them. You can see the Boomer quite easily. It's like central to the right, but yeah, there's the tank, the Witch, the Smoker, the Hunter, the Charger. They're all there.
That's awesome.
In like everyone. And Ku Klux Klan members.
Right, yeah.
So
also monsters.
On, it's so busy that sometimes it's hard to tell because I saw something and I thought, oh my god, that looks like the blood from The Shining. But then I couldn't tell if that was the blood from The Shining or if it was actually just something had attacked something else and there was a gallon of blood suddenly.
So much. But yeah, there's so many like little references. I've got the list actually of all of the creatures that were available on the whiteboard. Because
read that off.
Yeah,
so we have an alien beast, angry molesting tree, the bride.
I saw that in the elevator. It came out and it killed. Oh my god, that's crazy.
Clowns, deadites, which is obviously Evil Dead,
Yes.
demons, dismemberment goblins.
Yeah, I saw that one.
The doctors, dolls, dragon bat, giant snake, hell lord, the Huron, Jack O'Lantern, Kevin, Merman, a mummy, mutants, the reanimated, Reptilius, Sasquatch / Wendigo / Yeti, so just one of them, Scarecrow folk, sexy witches, Snowman, Sugar Plum Fairy, twins, unicorn, vampires, werewolf, witches, wraiths, zombie redneck torture family, and zombies.
Yeah, I remember the lady stipulating like, well, I've got zombies.
Yeah, it's like it's different. I do quite like the fact there's witches and sexy witches.
Yeah.
Right. What about the Sugar Plum Fairy? In the credits, there's actually somebody credited as Sugar Plum Fairy.
That's the ballerina.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking,
Okay,
but
that makes
I didn't
sense.
really get Sugar Plum out of that.
Yeah, and the Hellraiser guy is Hell Lord.
Yeah,
But
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently in the book he's called Fornicus, Lord of Bondage and Pay.
Yeah.
Fornicus.
As a Hell Lord would be named.
Yeah, I'm Fornicus. Shut
So
up.
the unicorn was not on the list.
No,
Yeah, unicorn. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay, I didn't hear it. All right. Either that or you're gaslighting me. It's one or the other.
The thing about that list, though, is that it's you can tell that this whole thing is kind of, it is a parody, almost.
Yeah.
Well, a spoof slash parody slash postmodern discussion about the genre and tropes, but you can tell that it comes from a place of love.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's kind of like
they've taken the time to put those names down.
Yeah, I mean it's not the same, but it's kind of similar in the sense how Hot Fuzz is a send up and parody of action films, but also a love letter to action films.
Yeah.
Like they're making fun of them while also saying, no, but this is they're silly, but we love them. You know, and it's the same thing with this. Where it's like horror films, you know, a lot of horror films are inherently silly, but we know this. But fuck it, we love horror films. So let's put these great monsters. And you know, that stuff like Reptilius. This is great.
It's like Jay Bauman from Red Letter Media. He genuinely loves horror movies. He does in a way that I'll never know. Like, I don't think I can love anything like he loves horror movies. Just in general. It's
really
way up there. Yeah, he really loves that kind of stuff. It's kind of crazy. So this movie, it's as if he worked on it, basically.
Yeah, but yeah. It's
Is he in the credits? Let's go find out.
Fucking wishes of it.
But yeah, so just to continue on after the elevator scene, this is the one thing where I'm like, one, why did you push the button? Two, why is there a button?
Yeah,
Dana
like,
and Marty are like in the control room, which is strategically placed between every elevator door.
Yeah.
So it's at maximum danger if you do hit the purge button. And they're like, we're going to die anyway. Fuck it. Yeah. Hit the purge button. And every elevator is opened. And then another set of elevators are opened. And monsters come straight out. And one of the first things I did see was the, what was it? The sexual harassing tree or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is also an Evil Dead reference, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
it is.
It's the one thing Sam Raimi regrets from that film.
Right.
He's gone on record saying, he's like, I regret that.
Yeah. So I Am Groot comes flying out of the elevator, piercing somebody, and it's like, what? And then just so many monsters, so many zombies, and it's a bloodbath. Like, I don't think I've ever seen more blood on screen in a single frame in any other movie ever.
Chaos.
Maybe was it Dead Alive, that other movie that Lord of the Rings did?
Peter Jackson, Dead Alive.
Over here it's called
Brain Dead.
Brain Dead, yeah.
Brain Dead, yeah. But for me, it's Dead Alive, because whatever. But yeah, that lawnmower scene is probably in the running as most blood on screen in any movie ever. So, yeah, it was a visual treat, as macabre as it was. It was just like, wow, what? Oh, monster there. Wow, how come none of these guys are taking any of these things down? Not even one monster is killed. They're all just running rampant.
And
it's like, who are these guys for again?
Especially because the movie, up until that point, has been, apart from, it cuts away to the other people in the facility, but for the most part is a by-the-numbers slasher movie. So you're not expecting to see fantastical creatures and... pints of blood and stuff. Well, you expect to see some blood, but you don't expect to see it like wall to wall.
Which I think plays in like gives you an idea. It's like that's why everyone was so disappointed when the redneck zombies won again.
Yeah.
Like the audience, they're like, oh, this again. Oh, not zombies in a fucking cabin again. I think the people they're almost like the audience, almost like the people that work there. Or it's like, no, it's not even yours. They're more like, it's like the crew that work on a film. It's like, this production company they're hiring. It's like, what film are we working on? Oh, it's a zombie
Intern 3.
redneck zombies in the woods again. You go,
Yeah.
I want to work on a merman movie.
Yeah.
You know, it's that.
Yeah, that's such a great setup, because like they don't get anything under control. Every security guy dies. Every employee dies. Some of them kill themselves, knowing what's going to happen.
Yep.
That's kind of hard to watch. Like they just do like sweeping security camera footage, and you just see everything happen. People like holding up signs, "Please help," into the camera. Yeah. Oh, is that the intern? Wow. Yeah. What's his name? Robin, the intern, or something like that. I'm an intern. And it gets down to like the control room. Our two main employees and their security guard.
Yeah.
And well, the lady as well, but she gets scooped up by a tentacle and never seen again. I'm sure she's fine. I'm sure she's the only one who makes it out alive for some reason. And the security guard, I was like, he's got the smallest pistol in the entire facility. How is he supposed to save these guys by himself? Yeah, he does go down swinging, and he's the only one with like a chest explosive. So when the zombies do surround him and rip him apart, he kills all of them at once, at least. There's that. And but the scientist, or the lead designer or programmer or whatever, he was like, he wanted the merman in the beginning. He gets knocked out. Guess what's coming? The merman. Slowly but surely. Crawling over to him, and he's like, "Oh, come on!"
It's like the music, so I was like, "Oh, it's all serene, like, oh, wondrous, it's the merman."
Like, it gives you a second to put it together before you actually, it comes into focus, sort of thing.
Yeah, but like you said, Chris, it's like, "Oh, come on!" And it's probably the second funniest death in the film is because it's obviously eating him, and then blood starts spraying out.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's like this thing actually breathes blood or something. It's so crazy. That's why he's hunting humans.
Oh, you know,
it eats people and spits blood out or something. Exhales blood.
Going like minor tangent. The guy who plays Steve, who is killed by the merman. You know, that's Bradley Whitford, who was the father in Get Out. The Steve Jobs guy.
Oh my God.
The white hair. Yeah, that's him. You should watch Get Out. It's great.
I've seen Get Out. I just didn't know.
That's him, yeah. And Richard Jenkins, who was Gary, is in Bone Tomahawk. Which have we ever covered Bone Tomahawk? That's great as well. No. That's good. He's one of the main characters in that. He's like the deputy with it's deputy to my brain is unfolding. I can't remember the actor's name.
Your brain is folded?
Folding on itself. The
oh
thing.
Kurt Russell. Pictures of the guy, and I know Russell. He's the same guy, but he just looks completely different. Get Out.
Ah, yes. Kurt Russell. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's amazing.
Yeah, he's the deputy sous chef. But yeah.
Let's turn this podcast into a Kurt Russell podcast. What do you say, guys?
The funny thing is, there would be
and then like it cuts off here. We just rebrand.
There's a number of films we could go through before the horror remit would have to be dropped.
True. I'm just joking though. But yeah, so it's just really, really amazing. Like the number of it's just like the build up and the execution of the final scenes are what made me like this movie so much, despite my dislike of general horror, especially the unicorn. Like a unicorn does run down a hallway and spear a man into the wall with his horn. And like that's never been a horror movie that I've ever heard of, but I would have watched that horror movie.
My wife
Apparently
said to me, she said that's the first time I've seen a unicorn use its horn.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. I think the same actually. I mean, apparently it's like an odd reference to the unicorn in Blade Runner. That's apparently
it's a unicorn in Blade Runner?
Yeah, it's part of Deckard's dreams. He dreams of a unicorn.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the hints that maybe he is a replicant. Ooh, but I don't think he is.
Wasn't that like the origami thing at the end too? Then
yeah, because I know lots of people like hardcore about Deckard being a replicant, but I think it makes the film less interesting because for me the ending is the machine is more human than the man. But yeah, that's Blade Runner.
Yeah, it's Blade Runner.
Yes, so it's all falling apart at the end of the film. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, and Dana and Marty are still alive. They're pushing through, like, somehow getting to the underlying labyrinths, the downstairs area, where our other, I don't know what to call him, main guy.
Gary.
Who, Gary. He comes down and gets shanked by Dana immediately because she gets startled, and she has a knife, and that's just what you do when you have a knife. You shank whatever startles you. And he dies, and he's looking at her, and he's like, hold on, please, kill him. Talking about Marty, and she's like, what? Like, why? What? You know? Which I think sets up the next scene where they go into the Elder God room, where the
chamber.
Yeah, there's just a chamber with the carvings on the wall where it's like, that's the athlete, that's the fool, that's the... they call her the whore?
So, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunate. And then, like, the Virgin and so on. And the Scholar, I guess, was the other one. And they have, like, blood outlines. What's that? Yeah, Holden. And they have, like, blood outlines for every one of them. But you can tell, like, the Fool, his has, like, parts of the blood that actually kind of, like, left the little runners. Because that was the one that didn't actually die when they pulled the lever. So that's where, like, the mistake happened. And I really like that piece of visual, like, storytelling. Like, there's a rumble for some reason. Continue on with the day. 9 to 5.
Their own desensitization from it all is and confidence is actually technically their undoing because they assume he's dead.
Yeah.
If they'd thought, no, we'll wait until we know he's dead. Don't assume anything. If they hadn't made that assumption, they probably would have been okay.
Much like the audience.
Much like the audience. True.
There's so many layers to this in terms of kind of postmodern commentary and the way it kind of breaks down things, and you know, just in the act of watching it, because like you were saying earlier about when Chris Hemsworth drives against the force field, you said you'd forgotten about the force field.
Yeah,
I hadn't forgotten about the force field at all, so I was just watching this whole thing going, I'm gonna watch this schmuck get smashed, and then I realized I'm like the people in the facility. I'm waiting for the doofus to go against the wall, so it's kind of, even that is just like another layer. So it's just, you know, it's onions all the way down.
So good. It's a film, I think, that really it's one of the few films of its type that I can think of that really does even benefit from like repeated viewing, because there's some films you watch once, that's them. This it's fun to watch it again knowing the twist, because you can kind of sit there and you're waiting and you're trying to like spot little details and
It's the second time and I still didn't pick up on that rumble thing you guys were talking about.
Oh, really?
If I watch it again, I will this time.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. It's just because of the way I don't think it's maintenance, but like the tech guys, it's when they're talking to Gary, and it's just the way they say, no, it wasn't us. We didn't make a mistake. There was some kind of power surge, and he instantly looks a little concerned.
Yeah, I like, oh no.
The director. Like, oh, which one? Oh, okay. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
That's something too, because like in most cases, someone screws up, it's your job. In this case, it's the whole world. The whole world is gonna die. All of it. Every human soul. Every single one. So when they get to like the room, the chamber, and Sigourney Weaver shows up, who is the director. She plays like the actual downstairs, the one who's like pulling all the bells and levers, making sure everyone's doing their job correctly. She shows up and tries to explain the situation, like a last chance to reason. Like, look, if you die here now, you save the world, your life, all lives. And I think Dana at that point is actually able to pull the gun and like point at Marty.
About it, for sure. She's good. I think she's going to do it.
She was going to do it, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I love you guys, but if it was like that, I'd probably do it. I'm sorry, but
enslaved by like the deep old ones.
Fair enough. But she doesn't do it, and unfortunately, Sigourney Weaver has to succumb to fisticuffs with the two of them. because she came up ill prepared, didn't have a gun on her or nothing. She could have ended this if she brought a gun herself, but she did not. So fisticuffs ensues, and then Jodie Ferland shows up, the one-armed young lady from the cannibal zombie family, still has her axe, and just slowly creeps over there and hacks Sigourney Weaver in the back. And I'm like, heck yeah! Get her, Alessa. You got it. Tear her apart.
It fall into the pit.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Like, they fucked up. They fucked up everything. And they say something along the lines of, like, maybe it's time we gave someone else a chance, which I think is kind of weird to say, considering what will have the chance exactly.
Exactly. They're going to rule over and kill everything. That's established.
Yeah, that's well established. I mean, if every country in the world is on board with preventing their own particular elder god from cracking the earth open like an egg and just eating the planet, then I don't know what we can do to defend against it, except for, I don't know, an elaborate ritual where we sacrifice people
I know exactly
to appease the elder gods.
12 Japanese schoolgirls.
True. That's true. They'll exorcise the elder god. Yeah, they'll put his spirit into a frog.
Sequel I want to see.
But that's why this movie, like, it sold me so well, because I didn't expect that to happen. I expected, like, I don't know, everyone to get away, but no, it ends with a giant orange and black veiny hand ripping apart underneath the cabin and just like,
it's like, yeah, it's on. It's over. Everything's over. Yeah,
and then Nine Inch Nails plays.
Yeah, it's weird. But like, again, like a lesser film would have had that moment where they have like the heartfelt plea to the ancient ones, like, no, you don't understand, and then they all survive. You know,
yeah. Humanity wins again through reason. No,
yeah, like it'd be the like. Have you seen the film Source Code?
Nope.
No,
I think it's Source Code's very good. Okay, I need to be careful so I don't spoil the ending. When I saw it, I think it's a Duncan Jones film. So David Bowie's son, Duncan Jones.
Moon
it's very good. Yeah, it's very good. It's Jake Gyllenhaal, really smart, very fun, very exciting, very clever as well. And there's a moment where I'm like, I was watching it, like, that's perfect. That's a perfect ending. Wow, I thought that was the ending. It's like this film they've got balls. Like, that's great. And then it goes a bit further and has an ending that felt like it was the studio going, yeah, you can't end your film like that. No, you gotta have a happy ending. I mean, I could be wrong. It might have actually had that ending all along, but it felt like, no, you gotta have a good ending, you got a happy ending. And the happy ending I felt was like when I started thinking about it, it was like way darker as well. But a lesser film again, like would have had that ending for Cabin in the Woods, where it's like, you think that's it, it's over, and then it keeps going, and they end up saving the world, and you go, it's like, so what was the point? They could have just done this from the very beginning. They just like asked the gods nicely. But yeah, I like the fact it's like, that's bad ending.
Is there. I mean, they literally say it. You've just got to kill this guy. I mean, they could have killed that guy any way they wanted to. They didn't even necessarily need to make the main character kill him in the end. It could have just, she said, no, I won't do it, and then like a rock falls on him or something,
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. It's like, it's the most human thing, isn't it? Selfishness. But also, as the audience, we don't fucking want him to die.
That's
true.
Yeah.
True. I mean, I certainly didn't want to see Marty get shot in the head, no, but at the same time, it's like, there's a lot at stake here. And that's one of the best things about the movie is they set the stakes really high, and they actually let the chips fall, kind of, and like, you really don't know how it's going to end, and you can kind of understand how it didn't end well. So, I really enjoyed the movie in the end for that reason.
There's that moment halfway through, sorry, just related to that, where she's crawling away along that jetty, and he says, is it weird that I'm kind of rooting for her? And it's that kind of thing, isn't it? You want to... Well, I'm the kind of person who definitely wanted to see them survive all the way to the end, and Earth be damned, fuck it. We'll work something out. We'll eat, I don't know, tins of beans or something, and pray to this god that exists now.
Yeah, and I think that plays into the fact that they're like the audience as well, but also it's like when Jules is killed, and you can see that they're not happy about it. Like they know it's horrible, but it has to happen. But it's another really subtle way to show that they still do have humanity, that they're not monsters, because they're not. They're someone's got to do it. They're kind of like they're doing bad things for a good reason.
Yeah.
They're not bad guys at all, really. I mean, they rig the game, yeah, but
when that guy dies at the end, and he's like with his dying breath, he says to kill him. You realise, obviously he's doing it for the greater good. He knows he's fucked already.
Yeah, he's
like, he's still trying to save the world.
So it means, wow, they are not monsters. They're doing monstrous things for the benefit of everybody else.
Yeah,
and it shows that they still have humanity, which I think is it's such a small moment, but it's really important. But then the tequila comes away, which is his, I don't have to worry about this.
But that flippant kind of comment of, oh wow, but I think I'm, is it weird that I'm rooting for her, also works on another level as well, because I've watched disposable movies like that, obviously not with the clever twist this has, but the things it's aping. I've watched so many disposable movies like that, because horror is a very big genre where, unfortunately a lot of people who don't have a good idea or a lot of money, they think, well, horror's cheap, so let's make a horror film. Anyway, but I've had movies like that where, you not those exact words, but you kind of turn to each other halfway through and you're like, actually I give a shit. I didn't expect to give a shit, but I do now. So it kind of works that way as well, as a kind of everything is like a wry kind of take on the genre at the same time as being kind of like a story logic thing as well.
Shows you that even if it's a type of story you've seen hundreds of times, it can still have an effect on you. It's like, no, I do want this character to live. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
You get that little investment, but yeah, great film, really, and it still holds up well. It didn't make a lot of money. I mean, it made a profit, but it had a
good.
It had a budget of like 33 million, and it made 66. So it made its money back. I think it's one of those things where I think if it came out a couple of years later, I think it'd have been a bigger deal. It's the same way Garth Marenghi's Darkplace, which if you haven't seen it, Chris, it's great.
I have seen it. It's amazing.
On the podcast we talked about it before for sure.
I can't remember if you've seen it or not, but again, that I was like, the more I think about it, I'm like, if they waited to release that 2-3 years longer, it would have been a huge hit, because around that time, that's when people were starting to discuss more openly so bad they're good films like TLOU2, like The Room and stuff like, Mystery Science Theater was more well known across the internet, and all these so bad they're good films, Samurai Cop and stuff like that. I think it'd have been a much bigger deal, because people would have, they're making fun of like these terrible films and TV shows from the 80s. This is great.
If they just waited for the YouTube age, because like you ask so many YouTubers and they say, oh yeah, Garth Marenghi is amazing.
Masterpiece, yeah, it's fantastic. It's so funny. And yeah, if it just 2 or 3 years they'd waited, it'd have been huge, I think. I'm not saying like, it'd have been the biggest thing ever, but it would have been much bigger than it was, than just this little show that came out on Channel 4 at like 10 o'clock at night. So I think it got like the death spot of like 10 p.m.
At my last workplace, there were people there who could quote every line of the IT crowd.
Yep.
And know who Richard Ayoade is. But when I said, have you seen Garth Marenghi's Darkplace, they were just blank faces.
Yeah.
And
so
one of those people since then, like when you see things pop up on Facebook and what have you, and it's just like, blah, blah, blah has joined the Garth Marenghi fan page. I'm like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah. And I think like Dean Lerner's one of his best roles as well. I love Dean Lerner.
We will have to do it for the podcast at some point, because I feel like it fits. It's cold, it's horror, it's very funny and clever.
Was it what's the line? He's like, had a cat once, dropped a fridge on it. It was a write-off. No, was it a fridge fell in it or something? It was a write-off, so I had to stamp on his head or something.
Yeah. And just before that, Garth has gone, so I feel really bad about that cat we killed. It's endlessly quotable. I mean, and very English as well. Because, like, I think in the 5th or the 6th episode, he goes on a rant about buying dodgy batteries at Folkestone Market. And as someone who lives proximity-wise, like, in that part of the world, it's just, you meet people like Garth Marenghi.
Yep.
You do.
Yeah, absolutely. The real pretentious authors as well. He nails it. Like you meet people like Garth Marenghi, but there are authors like that out there as well that think their work is better than it is. And that's the sad truth.
Yeah, without
There are
going
many
into details
Marenghis.
about it, I gather that the online creator Jim Stephanie Sterling, had some trouble this week with the person who made that game, Life of Black Tiger or whatever it is. He makes like bad games on PlayStation Network. Apparently, that person is also very much a kind of like, this is a blah 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 game, directed by blah blah blah, music by blah blah blah. Like, you know, one of those people who's very kind of like, oh yes, I'm an auteur and I'm amazing.
Yes.
And
I do, but it's like, don't do it well. I think one of my favourite lines from Garth Marenghi, it's not even that funny, it's just, I know authors that use subtext and they're cowards. I'm angry about it.
Oh, my favourite line changes, like, depending on when you ask me, but it's kind of hard to beat, like, the kid goes, like, they should pay you a hero's wage, and he goes, something like, I'm not Jesus Christ, I've come to accept that now.
And there's obviously you and he were buddies, weren't you?
Oh.
But one of my, I don't know, it's not even a funny line, it's just Richard Ayoade saying, look out, he's got a stick. And he runs around the corner with a lump of wood.
And that's probably one of those amazing lines that's also like heavily ADR'd over the top and is like completely different volume level to everything else.
Yeah, which is like the old Italian films, but you know, the old schlocky Italian horror films that were dubbed in post.
Speaking of schlocky Italian horror films, it is your choice this time, Matt.
It is.
Yeah, that's a very good segue.
So I was thinking of looking at Lamberto Bava's Demons. No, I'm joking. You own Demons 1 and 2 now. I need an excuse to watch them. No, I was thinking, I had a number of films that there's so many horror films I want to watch and rewatch for this podcast, but there was a film that me and Kitty watched over Valentine's Day, because during our Valentine's Day we just watched loads of horror films.
We did the same as well. I saw you guys doing it on Facebook, and it was just, oh wow.
And there's one that I want to watch again. I mean, most of them I'd watch again anyway. But there's one really want to watch again because, again, like Cabin in the Woods, I feel like it's something that could benefit from repeated viewings, because there's certain things I want to look out for. And seeing as you both are fans of the Silent Hill series, I think you might be happy to watch Baskin, not Carol Baskin, but Baskin. It's a Turkish horror film. I believe it's Turkish.
I'm really glad you picked this because I saw you talking about it at the time, and I made a mental note. Oh, Matt thinks that's really good. I'm gonna watch that at some point, and now you've forced my hand.
It's very good. Don't look up anything about it. Just go in blind. It's on Amazon Prime, but I mean I watched it with subtitles because apparently the dub is not good. I'm pretty sure someone told me the dub was really bad. But yeah, watch it with the subtitles. It's on Amazon Prime. I really liked it, and you know, you're joking about the whole Italian horror film thing. Well, you can tell they're fans of the genre.
Yeah, sure.
In terms of the color grade, the use of color is great. But yeah, I often joke when I'm like, it's the greatest Silent Hill film ever made. When I've joked about Lost Highway being a great Silent Hill 2 movie. But it's like that's very, you know, very loose at best. But
yeah.
I remember when we saw Silent Hill 2 while we were talking about that movie. Actually,
it's very good. I think Lost Highway is one of my favorite Lynch films. But
on the YouTube channel.
Lost Highway is great. But Baskin, I think there's it. I don't want to say too much, but I think it nails that sense of dreamlike unease. Like there's just this great feeling of unease the whole time, that you know that there's something is wrong.
You're saying all the words that I like that make me go, ooh, yes, please.
And again, without spoiling anything, you know the characters know something's wrong. You get the sense that they are aware that something is not right. Like they know something is wrong. So you are with them like the whole way, because you are completely like you know something's gonna happen, and this world's fucking weird.
Is there a sequel to this movie?
I don't believe so.
Oh, because I was thinking it could be called Robbins.
Yeah.
I don't know if you. Okay, he gets it.
That's one of the brands that has made it over here. Yeah. In our cinemas, funnily enough, only in our cinemas. Well, no, actually, I saw one in Nottingham in a mall, but yeah, like basically, if you want ice cream in Cineworld, like it's a Baskin Robbins that they sell it now. Remember cinemas?
What were they called? Back in my day, we used to call them seated viewing rooms.
Seated viewing rooms.
You'd sit there sucking down a bag of popcorn and everyone else's germs. Oh my god.
But no,
How did we survive this
I've gone
far?
past that now.
but no, Baskin. That's my pick, and
Baskin, okay.
the plot synopsis on Wikipedia is
I'm gonna
really
even
long.
avoid that. I'm not going to read anything.
No, I'm just gonna watch it.
Maybe it's only 97 minutes long. It's like I don't even think Lord of the Rings: Return of the King's plot summary on Wikipedia is this long.
Our podcast
like the
will
whole
certainly be longer.
Yes, as long as Zack Snyder's Justice League cut.
Oh god.
I haven't watched
yeah.
it.
I have friends who like. I'm first off. I enjoy Marvel. I'm just not a DC person at all. But even if I got over that, like these people, I know people who have literally like kind of sat there and posted memes about the whole. You watch this part is 47 minutes long, then this part, then you have a bathroom break, and it's like.
It's like I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I've heard it's okay.
With a fucking like.
Yeah,
an
but
FAQ.
it's yeah, the hyperbole coming up and people going 5 stars, 10 out of 10. Like that's not. I mean, I've heard it's good, but even the people that like it, that I know,
That's what I've
it's
heard.
good.
But it's better than the other version, but
It's very
still
self-sufficient.
not like mind blowing.
It's 4 hours long. It's like a mini series. Stephen King's The Stand.
Well, yeah, no. Since we last podcasted, I watched the 2020 version of Stand, and I actually quite liked it. Lots of people hated it. Lots of people online were like slating it, saying this is not the 90s version. It's nowhere near. I'm like, I think they're about the same.
Why would anyone want the 90s version? Like, the only good stuff in the 90s version is the Outbreak, because the rest is terrible.
Nostalgia mainly, and the fact that it was the only existing adaptation. So you know, by definition, people will go, "Oh, which one is better?"
Yeah. Randall Flagg has a mullet.
Yeah.
Ooh. And wears denim. He's not Bob. Should have been Bob. That'd been good.
Oh, you're talking to a Stephen King fan. You know, I'll bat all day for Randall Flagg.
I do want to. I need to watch the Stand, but I am going to have to go very shortly.
Yes, we are reaching the end of our allotted podcast
Yes.
time. So, all right, let's do super lightning fast plugs then. Let's go, Axton. You do streams and stuff.
I just leave. Yes. Everyone. Sorry. I do stream Axton 1061 Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and I guest on Kemiro's stream for Dead by Daylight on Sundays. But I do a Action Tuesday, I do a Classic FPS Thursday, I do Silent Hill Friday, and Saturdays are fighting game community style. So my Discord has a fighting game channel. We talk and meet up there. We just revolve through Dragon Ball Fighters. We play Street Fighter 5, Tekken 7, you name it, we probably play it. If it's modern, that is. We don't like go all the way back or whatever. And that's basically what I've been doing. I also do YouTube stuff, but I haven't found a way to work that into the workflow because I still play Persona 5 too damn much.
Not a bad thing. Well,
It's on my list eventually.
it's good.
Lost in the Water Pipe. You do streaming and stuff.
I do stuff and things. So yes, I stream a lot of days during the week. I stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. I play a multitude of things, whether it's horror, action. What else have I been playing? RTSs as well. We're playing Lord of the Rings on Friday for like the whole day. It's going to be crazy. But yes, I play lots of things, and then I try to make videos on YouTube when I have the time. But I have too many ideas. It's terrible. Too many. But I will
And
finish them
also,
soon.
don't forget the Clock Tower team that you're a part of.
Yes, and I am a part of the Clock Tower, which is a team on Twitch, which was started by the fucking awesome Beep Sword. So there's a load of great people in there. Again, lots of horror, but lots of variety as well. Because it's good to spice things up. If I do horror all the time, I'll get bored. So yeah, lots of variety streamers. Go and check out the Clock Tower. They're fucking awesome. Do it now. I'll be cursed forever.
I also sort of do stuff. My name has changed. Well, I can't remember the last podcast we did. I was Garlips or not. I think I was still Dark Gazing. I've changed my name to Garlips mainly because, much like Matt, I'm a variety streamer, and sometimes you don't always want to play horror all the time. And if you're called like a name that basically translates to like Horrorville, then it looks a bit weird when you start playing Jack and Daxter. So. Which I'm not. Well, I am playing, but I'm playing that in my off time. It's not a stream game. I'm going to start streaming this week. I have a schedule. It's on my Twitter. All the links to all of our various stuff will be below, and you should be able to find everything fairly easily. Yeah, I'm going to be doing Detention and Devotion this week, mainly because Red Candle Games found a way to sell their games, and I bought them before they disappeared again. And yeah, that's going to be great to go through, and I'm finishing up my Last of Us 2 Grounded Mode. And after that, the more challenges will come. But that's where I'm at right now.
And what else? What the hell?
Yes, of course. We need to do this on the podcast. I'm so glad you reminded me. Okay.
Of course.
So, me and my good friend Axton here, we have been talking about a way to kind of like start a stream running challenge, as it were, because we both like, well, we all like speedrunning, and we want to get started in it. So we decided that we're going to start trying to stream run Silent Hill 4. Stream run? Speed run? Speed stream. Stream, speed. Silent Hill 4.
There will be streaming and they'll be running.
Yes. It's not in my schedule for this week, but the week after is when I'm starting to try and speedrun Silent Hill 4. I'm going to watch a whole load of speedruns, I'm going to get some splits from somewhere, and then I'm just going to start and see how it goes. I'm really excited to see what the process is like, and kind of I'm going to try and document it and record it as well, and make like a highlight reel.
I'm going to watch a bunch of speedruns, download them, and pretend they're mine, and win.
Shit, that's a good idea.
Okay.
It's just like a poorly kind of like superimposed Garlips logo over someone else's.
Right on top of somebody else's logo.
Yeah.
Still transparent.
So yeah, you've got that to look forward to as well, coming at some point soon. We are officially laying the gauntlet down, sir.
Absolutely.
Okay, then
Silent Hill 4.
I don't have a... Yeah, all I have to hand really is like a fork, so yeah.
How about an empty water bottle? Let's go.
I'm doing it.
I didn't think
Speedrun would be crazy.
So yeah, that's what we'll be up to, and you can find all the links below. We also have a Discord, blah 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 blah, links below. Thank you for being with us today, enjoying the podcast, and we'll see you again soon for Baskin.
Baskin Robbins.
Take care.
Yes.